It was a day like any other. The air hung heavy with the heat. Then it happened.
Cockroaches!
The gleaming black bug that had no eyes and looked like a rock.
They've defied evolution for 300 million years.
It was a creature from hell.
They nest. Something is lurking below the surface.
You won't live alone if you live at all when the bug comes to your house.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 236 of the Triple Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live and direct with the homies JP, also known as Double Shot J, and Dave, also known as Mr. Parker. And of course, I'll be your host, Moodz, also known as Gia. What's going on, dudes?
What's up? Zoology.
Is that your Christian name? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's actually on my ID. It just says Gia 616.
I don't think they're going to let you leave the country with that.
Well, they did. Surprisingly. What? Yeah, man. They treat us differently. Not a bad thing, I guess, but yeah, man. Episode 236, Cockroaches. So this is going to be the first show in many what we've dubbed as the Zoology. Well, maybe it's the year of the Zoology films.
The Zoology project.
So, of course, we're not just going to do Zoology type films. We are going to be doing regular slated shows, top 10s and all other type of stuff. But this is something that we all have an interest in. And we thought, hey, why not? There's so many themes, so many options to do here. Why not do them? Right?
Yeah, it's fun too. Yeah. But I literally, like, the moment we were talking about it, I literally came up with like 30 different shows, bro.
Oh, it just never
next
ends.
week is sea urchins.
Actually, do mermaids count?
No, that's cryptozoology. They're not real.
Which will be a spinoff. We're going to do cryptozoology at some point.
What is a mermaid? It's like half human, half
that is 100%
animal.
Cryptozoology.
Yeah, it's half fish, some sort. What kind of fish, though?
I mean, if a shark fits in there, a mermaid, I mean, it's half and half. I don't know. It's debatable.
Now, is it a mammal fish? Like, is it half porpoise or half fucking shark?
Yeah, what the hell is a mermaid? But, oddly enough, there is enough mermaid films to actually do a show. It's weird. It's so weird that there's enough.
You got The Blur, you got Killer Mermaid, and something else.
I actually like Killer Mermaid, man.
A sea creature. Is sea creature the mermaid one? I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Or what's the one with Dennis Hopper, where he thinks it's Night Tide?
Oh, the old one from the early 60s. Yeah.
Curtis Harrington movie. Right. Yeah, that's a mermaid.
That one fit. I actually didn't even think of that one, but that's I actually just picked up that Blu-ray not too long ago.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot you could do with cryptozoology.
Oh, dude, it like literally never ends, man. And
we're not watching Loch Ness Horror by Larry Buchanan, so fuck y'all when we're not doing that one. We're doing
Jersey Devil. You got.
Now, does Last Broadcast count as the Jersey Devil?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Dude,
I just watched Creature from Black Lake the other night.
That's a fun movie.
You know what?
I like that movie as well.
It's funny. Like, it's very typical kind of like Bigfoot-ish type construction to the movie. Like how you always watch these films and they basically just show it like right at the end in like all the Bigfoot movies from like the 2000s to 2015s or whatever. You wait the whole damn movie just to get a glimpse of the Bigfoot. This one, you get a little bit more and stuff, but it's a little bit slower. But man, I will say the transfer on that Synapse Blu-ray is ridiculous because I think we originally watched it for the prep for 76. Did we watch it for 76?
I did.
It was a 76.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I even watched it for 76 too, but it was probably, full screen, whatever.
Yeah, it was garbage. I remember it being
right.
garbage.
So I popped in the Blu-ray and I was like, holy shit, man. Like that's fucking
nuts. That's how I felt.
That transfer.
that's how I felt with Legend of Boggy Creek. Like it's literally another movie.
It
like
is
when you watch it in HD, bro. It's like insane. Because
Right.
Legend of Boggy Creek.
We should do an episode there. Movies that, like an episode of movies that were not good until they got 4 Blue remaster.
Dude, I think we joked
Some
about
that you can't even see. You can't even see them.
No, I swear that we joked about
Legend of Boggy
one
Creek
time,
you cannot
JP,
see.
about movies that that like completely changed your opinion on the film because the transfer was so good, right?
It happens to me all the
I
time.
feel like Town That Dreaded Sundown was super dark too when I saw it originally.
What's the one I was thinking of that we always joked about? It was it's Drive-In Massacre, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that movie for years literally had the most trash bag releases ever because it was like public domain, and like I mean the transfers were so dark on that you literally couldn't even pick out what was happening in the beginning of the movie. And I'll never forget this, and I've told this story on the podcast before, and I think you even laughed at this, JP, because you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. But the beginning of the movie, there's actually a decapitation. I never knew that until I saw the Blu-ray. I never knew that there was a decapitation. It was so dark because it's kind of dark in the scene, but it's not in the Blu-ray. They really light it up and it's, clear as day. But I never knew that there was this awesome decapitation at the beginning of the movie till the Blu-ray came out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And that movie's so much better than I ever thought it was because it was trash.
Yeah.
Don't tell the VHS guys that. They're like, it's better on VHS.
Dude, when it's really dark like
themselves.
that, when it's really dark like that, like, we hate it, but cockroaches would actually love that because, fun fact, they're nocturnal and they run away from light.
Right.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
Not these cockroaches, though. These are weird cockroaches.
Yeah. These cockroaches are, they're mutated and sometimes they're altered on
Fire
purpose
ants? Question mark.
Right, like, man, you know what? Okay, well, we'll get into the first one, but yeah. So Zoology show. So I think we did mention the next few shows that are coming up, which we have decided. So the next show is going to be kind of like I guess we're going to do multiple volumes of this, also kind of mixed in with the Zoology episodes also, but we're going to get into doing actual Stephen King films. I mean, we've reviewed lots of Stephen King film adaptations over the years, whether it be Carrie or Pet Sematary or whatever the hell it is. We've done lots, but we've never themed out a Stephen King show. So next episode is going to be 237. It's going to be Salem's Lot 1 and 2, which of course the first one is. I mean, the second one's still.
It's going to be Salem's Lot. It's going to be Stephen King Volume 1, Salem's Lot Volume 1.
Yeah,
Right.
Are we going to do that? There's a remake, too. We're not doing the remake with Rob Lowe. We're just doing the original
We'll
Toby
do
Hooper
that.
and then the Larry Cohen, right? The Larry Cohen sequel, Return to Salem's Lot. I've never seen either of them. That's the biggest blind spot I have from Toby Hooper and Stephen King. I've never seen
seen
Salem's
crazy.
Lot.
I could see not seeing the Larry Cohen one, but
I know. I have them both. I'm excited. I've been wanting to watch Salem's Lot for like 15 years. It's just long.
Okay, so the crazy thing about Salem's Lot is like it's a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like it though.
I know it's got Reggie
there's
Nader too,
actually
and I'm
two
excited to watch
versions of
it.
Salem's Lot.
Well, there's the theatrical one made for overseas theaters, and then there's the TV version, which is the long
Yeah,
one.
I have a VHS of the theatrical version.
Really?
Yeah, I think the TV version is the one that you want to be. I think that's supposedly the better version. It's the version, right?
Longer cut, but it's it's interesting that they actually cut it down to a movie length movie.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes longer cuts aren't always better. Like sometimes if there's a longer cut, I'll watch the longer cut first, and when I revisit, I'll watch the shorter cut because I just know I fill in the other parts anyways. Like sometimes I'll put in like the Creepers cut, the Dario Argento Creepers cut, just because I know. I like all the cuts of Phenomenon. I love that movie. All of them are cool.
I feel like I've never seen the other version of Salem's Lot before, but I actually rewatched Salem's Lot 1 and 2, I think last summer during I don't know, maybe it was sometime during lockdown. I have no idea. But like, I remember finishing Salem's Lot going, man, for a 3-hour movie, that shit ripped by. It's just interesting. Like
it's objectively probably one of Toby Hooper's like top 3 films.
Still didn't make Moodz top 10 though.
It legitimately is.
Top 10 Toby Hooper movie.
Yeah. No. Well, I said Toby Hooper. I can make like 6, 7 for sure. And
You
Salem's
can
Lot
make
is
like 8.
legitimately a good movie by Toby Hooper, man. It's a good film. It's solid, and especially for a later TV film too, like by the 79, like the early 70s shit, always has that kind of feel, but this one feels different. It's good. I'm not sure how it is as a straight up adaptation to the story because I haven't read Salem's Lot since probably fucking 30 years ago, man. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I've actually never read Salem's
as
Lot.
an adaptation, can't comment on that, but I will say Larry Cohen's sequel, interesting. to say the least. But
It stars Sam Fuller. Doesn't Sam Fuller in it as an actor? The director Sam Fuller is acting in it. That's strange.
Yeah, it is strange. Okay, so then 238 is going to be the top 10 in 1941. Dave is not going to be on that show. We're going to have back
Special guest.
Yeah, we'll have a special guest on that show. So is it just going to be the three of us on the show? Like me,
I believe
you?
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Because Dave Z doesn't want to do 41. Carly actually started doing 41. She watched like 5 movies, but then like because initially we were going to do 41.
well, she was half done then.
Yeah, we were going to do 41 like a while back, and
Yeah.
she doesn't feel like rewatching them. So
I figure like I'm going to finish up. I'll do like the week of the show. I'll just finish up the prep. There's like 11 or 12 movies to watch. So
there realistically, there's about you can watch about 15, 16. I think.
yeah, but I mean, a couple of those, I don't know, man. I mean, there's 11 or 12 like kind of main ones and stuff, and I own actually every one that I'm going to be watching. So that's
I watched
fucking handy.
3 so far.
Yeah, I noticed that you watched Invisible Ghost, which was actually a film that I watched during the 31 Days of Horror. I'd never seen it before with Bela Lugosi.
I liked it.
It's actually a really good. I love Bela Lugosi in that film. He's great.
Yeah,
he's
cool
really
in that
really
one.
good in that performance.
And then I watched Jekyll and Hyde as well.
Oh, I'm actually waiting for my copy. I never had a copy of that, so I was still waiting for it. But
That's
It's
a Warner
funny
Archive
because-
Blue, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's funny.
There's
because,
actually 2 Jekyll and Hydes they put out in Warner Archive on Blu-ray.
yeah, there's the 31 I think as well.
you know the funny thing is, I think there's a UK release that has both of those versions on one disc, and then of course Warner Archive.
There's
put it on
1,000 versions of that fucking movie.
Yeah,
And
but
you know
that
what's
one
funny
from like
is-
yeah, I think the UK version has the 31 version and the 41 version on one disc. It's like a special edition type thing, and then where Warner Archive did them separately. So
Well,
That's
the
cool. I need to buy those
1941. Listen, the 1941 version is like the 6th version.
it is.
I know
There's-
there's a silent one that technically like a completely silent one that was made super early that's like 20 minutes long, if that.
Yeah.
and then I think there's another one in the 20. Like that one's like in the 19 teens, I think, isn't it? It's like a really
Yeah, I
early one,
think
and then
so.
there's a silent one in the 20s, I believe. Yeah, there's lots of versions.
Really, there's only one Universal movie besides that early one, they kind of count it, that has Dr. Jekyll in it and Mr. Hyde, and that's the Abbott Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So those are all not Universal, which is strange.
I'm a big fan of Abbott and Costello. I don't think JP probably really is.
No, I love it.
Man, some of the movies that they did with their Universal, like they're fun, man. They're super fun. Like,
No, I love
Pete
this.
Frankenstein is the best. I mean, that's
yeah, Frankenstein's my favorite one too, by
Yeah.
far.
That's
I
everybody's. That's
love that
great.
one.
But the funny thing about
the only downgrade is that fucking Glenn Strange plays Frankenstein's monster, not Boris Karloff.
Right,
Because that's only
right.
like the second time, or like Bela Lugosi played Dracula.
Yeah,
And Lon Chaney always played the Wolfman. He never gave up that role.
yeah.
which is another 41 film there, The Wolfman.
I
Love
mean,
it.
come on. That ruins the Wolfman.
Yeah,
That's
I'd be kind of
When
surprised
the moon is
if that
full,
wasn't,
I'll become a werewolf. That's
It's kind of the
everybody's number
quintessential 41 film. It's the Wolfman.
It's
right?
got
Yeah.
it's got Claude Rains. I was listening to the fucking Exploding Heads the other day, and they were doing trivia, and they were like, "Who's in the Wolfman and Invisible Man?" It's like, bro, it's Claude Rains. Like he plays fucking Lon Chaney's
Yeah.
father. He fucking and they didn't know it. And I was like, fucking assholes.
Damn,
Yeah.
crazy. That's so funny.
But
even on the poster
Watson
of-
worked it out.
Yeah,
Oh,
41. You know, it's got some. It doesn't have an abundance of films, but it does have some decent ones, though.
It actually, you know what's funny is it has more films than most of the years from that era.
Yeah,
Which is hilarious. But like there's some years where it'll be like a top 3 ranking.
right. Yeah,
But the funny thing about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is like every film I was looking at was like 70 minutes, like 69 minutes. And Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's
I know
crazy.
almost every movie, man.
The fucking story's not even that long.
They're
It's a short
70
story.
They're 70 minutes long, 65 to 70 minutes long. I was like, shit. So are you just too swamped down, Dave, to do that? Because like,
Yeah,
there's-
I can't cram in fucking 12 movies right now.
Yeah, because a lot of them are really short. I was actually just.
I mean,
looking at
I
that
just
last
ended
night.
the year end. I ended so many year ends. It's like I'm not crowding in a bunch of fucking movies and shit when I got tons of stuff I have to review.
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying the three that I watched. I'm enjoying them. They're really. I feel like in general podcasts, especially our show. Actually, our show probably talks about older films more than most shows, but
Yeah.
in general, I feel like anything pre 70s kind of doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, it's nice to go back and do like a show that's focusing on older
like
films.
legitimately, man. As soon as you do anything, even from the '60s, unless it's like a really, really popular film like Night of the Living Dead or Psycho or something, it doesn't seem to get the love at all. It's like even when I do my 31 Days of Horror, like I always say, like I try to do a film from the '30s. You know, every decade, like represent the decade at least once. It's all like the films from the '30s, '40s, and '50s never getting love. It's just like, oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, looking forward to doing the top 10 of 41. That's kind of an interesting one. And then 239, we're going to be doing the Joyride trilogy, which is we just haven't done a trilogy in a long time. It's been, I don't even remember the last trilogy we even did, to be honest. And I just thought that would be a fun one because, you know, I mean, I like road horror. I like the movies, to be honest.
I've never seen 2 and 3, so it gives me a good. I've always wanted to see them. I really like the first one, so I'm looking forward to checking those sequels out. I'm not expecting like very high quality sequels out of them, but
you're probably directed. I bet they're fine. I bet they're all like three out of 5. I guarantee.
They're actually better than you think they would be, to be honest. Like I remember them being pretty violent and shit. And I mean, like it's been a while, but whatever. And then 240, we're going to be doing another zoology show, so that'll be Volume Dux, and that's
actually we're doing 2 back to back there.
Okay, so yeah, so 240 and then 241. Okay, so 240 is going to be dogs, and then the one after that, we're going to do cats right after that one?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so 241 is going to be cats. So, and
then 242, we'll just be reviewing the musical Cats.
Dude, I heard that shit was like the worst thing ever. The movie version that they did.
Yeah, I heard it's bad. I heard it's rough.
I heard it's like one of the worst things that's ever been made. Like what? Like with a big budget.
That loses its meaning with us. People are like, "Oh my god, Halloween Ends is the worst movie I ever seen." It's like, bro, you ain't seen like Beneath the Mississippi and Beware the Children. I'm not talking about children at play. I'm talking about Beware the Children. They're fucking Almost Invisible. Movies that are not even real movies.
I honestly don't even take it serious anymore when people are like, yeah, this was the worst movie ever made, or the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, this is the worst movie you've ever seen.
Oh, you're like this. Like, we're like, I guess we'll watch it. That's us. Like, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
The worst movie they ever seen is like a 3 out of 5 for us. It's like a 6 out of 10. We're like, that was all right.
It's true, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. All right. So are we gonna break down some zoology shit here? Do
you want the top 40 list I got?
Sure, man. I don't even know what site you're on or nothing, so I can't
also
even follow along with
quick,
this.
But if anybody has any specific zoology recommendations, drop them below.
Right.
Yeah, any weird ones. So this site here is called top2040.com, and I don't know when this list is initially made, but this is the top 40 best bug movies and killer insect films. Okay. Right. So start at the bottom. The bonus 41 Slugs. That was Slugs a
what? Go ahead. That was 40. That's the bonus one, Slugs?
Yeah.
Dude, that
Slugs is definitely top 10.
Dude, man, like that movie's got some great like slow-mo fucking some bloodiness and shit. Like,
do you remember those old people die in the miniature scene?
Oh yeah, man. I rewatched Slugs, I believe, again last year, man, and like that, there's some gory ass shit that's going on in there, man. That diner or the
Slugs
dinner
is great. Oh yeah, dude, it gets the hematodes or whatever, the fucking parasites.
Yeah, man. Like it's from the director that did Pieces and shit, man. It's like
Pierre Simon.
Yeah, I always forget his name.
Yeah, what else? He had another one. He had Endless Descent, and he had another one in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Cthulhu Mansion.
Yeah, and actually, I think Vinegar Syndrome put that out too.
Yep.
So
40 is Evil Spawn. That's a Fred Olen Ray, if I'm not mistaken, or is that the sequel?
What's the bug?
Fred Olen Ray.
I don't know.
Isn't that Evil Spawn? Isn't it more of like an alien? Well, maybe
it says alien bug from Venus. That's all it says.
Alien bug from Venus.
It's been a little bit since I've seen it. I have it. I haven't watched it in years. It's really low budget, man. It's like early 90s. Or no, maybe it's late 80s. I don't know.
Wait, that movie's better
87,
than
87, yeah.
According to this list.
Okay.
Then we have 39, The Wasp Woman from 1959.
It's fun. It's fun.
2001,
38, Tail Sting? Genetically altered
scorpions?
That is a
sci-fi original movie.
Oh, you know who has? I know Maddie, Junior Horror Movies. He definitely owns that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He owns all 100%. Movies.
I've seen that.
He has every movie on this list.
I've never seen that.
I think I have that one.
I've never seen that one before. No.
Okay, so this next one, 37 Centipede, 2004.
That sounds bad. 2004
sounds
like, I don't know, bro.
That's right in the wheelhouse of like really ugly DV, probably.
Oh yeah. And it takes place in a cave, so you know it's going to look like shit too.
And
on top of that,
the DV in a dark cave with some really bad CG, and you know they have the cheapest CG ever in there probably too in the dark cave just to kind of cover it up.
Yeah, but it's still so bad. Like the CGI is so bad, you could still see how bad it is in pitch black. Was that MS Paint, bro? It's just the centipedes from the game, fucking Centipede.
Right.
Oh my
God.
Copy and pasted it.
It's like the centipede has like big googly eyes, like fucking like a clip art.
Oh God.
Okay. 36, I'm sure JP's seen this one. Mosquito from 2005.
I have seen Mosquito.
I actually can picture the artwork on the DVD right now. I've never seen it though.
It looks so bad.
I have the DVD.
Yeah.
What a lucky man you are.
Not
35. So basically this one, The Nest, 1988. We'll be covering that one today.
Oh.
Cockroaches.
34. JP's about to be pissed. Ticks at 34.
Bro, that's fucking. This list is fake. Fake
Ticks is that? Wow.
Fake news. Especially the garbage. Especially the garbage you see above Ticks. You're about to be pissed, bro.
Ticks is legitimately one of the best insect.
I think it's such a fun movie. I still can't believe the addition it got, man. Like
I know,
Ticks.
no shit, right?
It's crazy
because they knew that Ticks was special.
Well, it's fucking Carlton, man. Carlton.
It's all Clint Howard, bro.
Yeah.
His name's Panic because he never does.
That's right.
That's just a bad fucking line. Like, are we writing today, or are we just gonna? Nah, I did my work today. You see this line? I'm done for the day.
He was panicking.
I'm gonna treat myself.
They call me Panic because I never do.
I love
I love. So why do they call you Panic?
That's one of my favorite things about Carl. Or what's his name? Alfonso. I can't remember his full name, but it's the funniest thing because his character is so polar opposite, and then he plays in Fresh Prince. And you know that was done totally on purpose, right?
Oh, no doubt. Like,
yeah.
He was trying to get
so
out
miscast in fucking Ticks.
He was trying to get out of that typecasting, you know.
Yeah. Majorly
I'll
miscast.
take this Ticks role.
Yeah.
We
are going to do Ticks, but it'll be probably arthropods. Because I don't think there's 3 Tick movies.
No.
All right, let us know if there's 3 Tick movies, guys. 33, Dragon Wasp, 2012. I don't know what this is.
That's another movie I know Matt has too.
I think that's one of the man-eater titles.
It's like a sci-fi movie, yeah.
Stinger, 2005. 32.
What is that? Another scorpion?
Big Queen Scorpion takes on a crew of U.S. naval ship. Bad acting, cool insect.
I don't know that one either.
Then we got 31, Mongolian Deathworm.
Dude,
that's a man-eater title.
I think I have a copy of that. I never watched it, but yeah, these are a lot of 2000 ones. Shit.
Yeah, they're mostly there's a lot of man-eater titles in here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2005 has a bunch of killer bug movies, and I watched like one of them for 2005.
Yeah, that's because the man-eater series was going on.
Yeah,
and that's what that was. Sci-fi original bug movies.
Well, a lot of those man-eater ones I've heard from people, like they're not really the worst ones ever.
Yeah, there's some that aren't the worst.
Like, they're probably hit and miss, but I've heard. Actually, I was just watching a recent update on Exo the Mutilator, and he was talking about the Man-Eater series. He said like he's having this weird nostalgia overload right now, and he's been picking them all up individually, and he even reviewed a couple of them. He's like, "This is really good."
Well, the thing is they actually tried to make a movie back then.
Well, you know, we're going to talk about a movie this week. What was actually a movie that tried, even though it was cheap, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. Next.
30. I never heard of this one. Highly Dangerous, 1950. A spy movie involving germ warfare using bugs as carriers. Don't know it.
Nope, don't know. I didn't even know there was a movie in 1950. Wasn't that one of the years that we looked up and there was like literally like 3 movies?
Yeah, I don't know what Highly Dangerous is.
No.
It's like a spy movie. And then we have 29. We're familiar with this one. I know me and Moodz covered it. Glass Trap from 2005.
Yep.
Radioactive ant trap.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
It's okay.
It's got some suspect CG in it at times.
Yeah, it's completely okay.
Yeah.
28, High Plains Invaders, 2009. The insects look cool. The script, not so much.
Then why is it 29 over fucking Ticks?
This guy's fucking dog shit. Who wrote this list?
I don't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, this
who
guy's
did
dumb when you find out what 26 is. 27, Killer Bees, 1974. Yep,
Good-
another swarm
good
of bees.
movie. Good
Yeah,
movie.
I like it.
26, Slither. Space slugs turn people into zombies. If we're counting Slither,
We
where's
doing
Night of the
Deadly
Creeps?
Spawn?
A. Yeah. A. I mean, Deadly Spawn, they're not bugs, though. They're like eels.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not-
what that is.
Slither is pretty good, man.
Slither's pretty much ills too.
Slither's just Night of the Creeps meets Deadly Spawn.
Yeah, it's not bad. What year did that movie come out again?
2006.
2006.
No, like Slither's better than is a great movie. I think Slither's one
Yeah,
of the best
Slither's
movies that
good.
year. It might be the best movie, my favorite movie from 2006.
Yeah, it is good, man. It is good.
And
There's
then
better
25.
movies, but
Well, I'd have to look. It's just off the top of my head. 25 is another movie called Killer Bees from 2008. He says one of the 4 B movies with the same title.
Yep, I think I have a copy of that one too. From
I don't
2008.
remember that one.
Yeah.
Another JP favorite here, Mosquito at 24 from 1995.
Yep.
One of my favorites. Actually made my top 10 of 95.
It was it was
94.
close. Yeah, 94. He puts it. He's the wrong year. I almost had it in my top. It almost made it. To 23, above Mosquito, of course, and Ticks. Deadly Stingers. Toxic waste makes giant scorpions.
Huh.
I didn't
heard
realize there's many Scorpion movies.
This guy must have a hard on for scorpions who made this list.
Sounds like it.
22, Infestation. Giant insects take over the world. I've seen this one.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Comedy.
I remember that.
It's like a
Yeah, it's a
comedy.
good one.
Yeah.
21, Attack of the Giant Leeches. Low budget, high fun. 1959. Is that a Corman, Moodz?
Yes.
Okay. It means it'll probably be released on Screen Factory Limited Blu-ray and no one will get it. 20, Star Runners, 2008, Alien Insects, good sci-fi movie.
Huh.
Bro, what? 19, Food of the Gods, giant wasps, chickens, and rats. What could you want?
Yeah. Food
What
of the
more could
Gods,
you
man.
want?
It's got
There's like a
some
wasp
great,
in the movie for 2 seconds, though.
great miniatures in there, man.
It is
Yeah,
a good movie, but it's
end is-
more like reminds me of like Rats.
The end of the movie is literally just like miniatures and rats
Yeah.
and shit. So it's pretty
This
fucking
guy's
fun.
list is garbage.
Tell him about himself.
18, Black Swarm, 2007, Supersonic Killer Bees.
That's another
Black
man-eater.
Swarm.
I have
Right
that
below
one
The
on DVD.
Fly, 1986 at 17.
Really?
If we're counting The Fly, it's like
Yeah.
top 2.
That's crazy.
16, Bugbuster, 1998. Mutant
That one's
Roaches versus
actually
Randy
fun.
Quaid in the cast of Star Trek.
That
It
movie
was Mutant Roaches? We didn't watch it?
Is it?
Wow.
I couldn't remember if it was Roaches.
I have never even heard of that. I don't think.
I never seen it.
Randy Quaid's
yeah,
in that?
that movie's
Yeah.
fun, dude. Yeah, that movie's fun.
Wow.
So, 15, Skeeter, 1993. Killer mosquitoes on the loose.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
14.
seen Skeeter. I wonder if it's better than
Me either.
Mosquito.
Skeeter
doubt it.
is. I would say Mosquito's better. I have the VHS of it. Doesn't it needs a release?
on
Skeeter has a
DVD, I
DVD.
think.
I have a
Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah,
Maybe out of
yeah.
print. It was an
Yeah.
image DVD. So then we got 14, Bug,
Joe's Apartment on this
1975. I don't think so. But Bug, we'll cover that one. 13, Swamped, Swarm of Killer Bees.
Yep.
12, Empire of the Ants, 77, H.G.
Good
Wells
one.
story.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of Killer Ant movies,
Empire-
and
Empire of the
surprisingly,
Ants is
not
great.
a lot on this list.
11, The Fly, 1958,
I
Vincent
was just
Price.
gonna say that if they're gonna have the Fly on there, because if they put the other one, yeah.
I like all
Number
the
10?
Fly movies.
Creep Show.
Oh yeah, they're creeping up on you.
Right.
That's a great Roach segment.
That
That's
that is a
nasty as fuck.
great Roach segment.
That's got to be the best Roaches ever.
Yeah, I love
Number
just how
9?
white everything is.
He's so great. E.G. Marshall in that. 9, Starship Troopers. Good call. I wouldn't have
never
thought of it,
actually
but
seen
they're giant
that.
bugs.
Wow.
Oh, you never seen Starship Troopers?
No,
Oh, you'd like it. It's good. It's a lot of fun. I think you'd like it.
I know there's
Yeah,
It's
three.
very
of them.
much in the same humor as RoboCop. You only want to watch the first one. Fuck the
It's
other
good.
ones.
Yeah.
Number 8, The Swarm. I heard that's a piece of shit.
78 or 70 something.
Yeah.
That's a Warner Archive.
It's like 3 hours long. It's a crazy.
I know.
It
it's
is a very
has a
long
huge giant
TV
cast.
movie,
Yeah,
but I like it.
It drags at parts, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
His top of the list is pretty good. So, I mean, number 7, Them, 1954.
That's
arguably top 5.
One of my favorite.
It really is good.
Insect movies.
Classic.
There's still one on this list so far that I mean, if we're into we're going to number 4?
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh, man. So we're almost in the top 5. And there's the one film that hasn't been mentioned. So I'm assuming it's in the top. Okay. Keep going.
Phase 4.
Yeah. Phase 4 is great, too.
It's a weird-ass movie.
Yeah.
It's like the Thinking Man's Killer Bug movie. I'm not sure how good it is. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Number 5, The Deadly Mantis. Classic there. Old one.
Yep.
Love The Deadly Mantis.
We could do that as part of the Arthropod trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, Mimic.
Okay.
Mimic is a good one. I know.
Cockroaches Volume 2.
I don't think this belongs here. Number 3, Tremors. Colossal Earthworm Man, bro. Those aren't worms.
They're not insect at all.
They're not insects.
No.
Tremors are monsters. Those are monsters, man.
Yeah, it's totally a monster.
Number 2, The Black Scorpion.
Okay, that's the one I was waiting for.
It's a good one.
It's one of my favorites, man. I love that movie.
Yep. Good one.
Number 1, you guys got any guesses?
Man,
it's got to be one of the 70s bug but maybe ants or
there's just so many that haven't been named.
Okay.
Like I
the
don't know.
Savage
Stephen King.
Bees. Cujo.
Stephen
Wait.
King.
Wait, Stephen King.
Yeah.
What the fuck did he do?
Stephen King, fucking insect, fucking.
Hold on.
Okay, what am I missing here? But then again, they just had Creep Show, so that was a segment inside there.
Right.
Wow.
Stephen King insect movie? Oh, Dreamcatcher?
I'm overthinking this.
Nope.
No. Those are shit.
I don't want to give you any
weasels.
lines. It would spoil it.
Oh, The Mist.
It is The Mist.
Oh, of course. I was totally thinking. I was thinking different. Yeah.
And The Mist is
Yeah.
great, man.
The Mist is great. I just didn't think insects, but there are fucking killer insects in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There totally is. Yeah.
There's
Oh,
another
interesting.
list from Ranker that I could do real quick and just
Go ahead.
run them down.
Yeah,
real quick. I
they
think
missed a lot of the like 70s movies.
I was getting a little bit worried about the
There's,
Black
like,
Scorpion.
there's a
I was
few
like, I was good to see it
bees.
so high because
There's
like,
actually a good bee movie from like 2000 as well called Killer Bees.
honestly, there's good ones from all over the times, man. There really is.
So this one's Ranker. I'll go real quick from 20 up above, and I'll just announce every 5. So Mimic 3, The Bees from 78, Empire of the Ants, The Wasp Woman, It Happened at Lakemore Manor, aka Ants,
Yep.
Yeah.
The Fly 2 at 15,
Good movie.
Mimic 2 at 14, Ticks at 13, Phenomenon at 12. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Phase 4 at 11, The Naked Jungle at 10.
What's that? Naked Jungle?
It does
just
have
one-
an AKA.
It has Eleanor Parker, Charlton Heston. It's this is one I've heard about before, but I think it's is it ants? Attacked by attacking black ants. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
That
We'll
has
have to check
an
that one out.
AKA.
with Charlton
No.
Heston. Crazy.
Yeah, it's a classic movie. It doesn't have an AK name. It's like
Really?
it's
I've never
yeah.
heard of that one.
Trippy. I don't know.
Then we got 9 Killer Bees from 74, Curtis Harrington. 8 Black Scorpion. 7 Deadly Mantis. 6 Tarantula, good one.
Yeah.
5 The Swarm. 4 The Original Fly. 3 Mimic. 2 Them. 1 The Fly. I think that list is more appropriate for the top.
Yeah, that's
20.
like more of the best.
So they have
movies.
all 3 Mimic movies on there. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, people like the roaches. The Nest wasn't on there. I think the Nest is a pretty good one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like pretty iconic.
What about Arachnophobia? Does that count? Or are we not keep doing
they're
spiders?
they had tarantula on there or whatever. So.
Yeah, but they didn't have arachnophobia. How are you going to
I
have
know. So like,
tarantula without
if you're
arachnophobia?
opening up the spiders, it like
Maybe they're not considering
dramatically
it.
changes the list.
Maybe they're not
Yeah.
considering it as a horror film. It's funny
Okay.
because
Yeah.
people
It's
people
like a
do
comedy.
people do consider it to be not a horror film. A lot I hear people.
It's kind of
so-
scary at times.
I mean, especially if you have arachnophobia, like that.
There's
may be
actually a
terrifying.
remake of that coming out this year from Blumhouse.
Honestly, I think arachnophobia is pretty scary, man. When they kill that like dude from Total Recall, and his wife are eating, like that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I like, dude. There's actually a lot of good killer spider movies too.
There is
Kingdom
a
of
lot.
the Spiders.
There's lots of good ones.
Kingdom of
Fucking
Spiders is the shit. If we're
Arachnophobia,
counting
Eight-Legged
spider
Freaks.
movies, how did Kingdom of the Spiders not make the list?
Right,
Right.
exactly. It's like one of the like most known.
You know, I was actually thinking about that movie last night, and I always say it too. Like, Kingdom of the Spiders is a film you'd never see remade today because of all the fucking tarantulas they actually kill them. Like the scene where they're all in the street and they're just running them over.
It's not pleasant as shit.
Oh, there's
crazy.
Honestly, any movie you see from the 70s that's killer animals, there's going to be a lot of deaths of the animals.
Yeah, especially bugs. People don't care about bugs.
No, like the cockroaches.
No, hey, Squirm wasn't on the list. Nobody put Squirm on there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, is worms considered insects?
Yeah.
It's in the same realm. We talked about this, I think, last episode with...
That one list had
vertebrates.
tremors on there, bro.
Oh, yeah, it was for the worm, slugs, and leeches show. We're like, well, for worms, we'll do Squirm because that makes sense. Yeah.
There are probably enough movies to do specifically worms, but not slugs and leeches.
I think there is actually a movie called Leeches.
Yeah, there's 3 leech movies. You can do a leeches one, but I feel like if you do them 3 together, you got
slugs. I'm not too sure about. Like, is there even more than one that are just slugs?
Unless you're counting like Deadly Spawn and Slither.
Yeah, Deadly Spawn aren't they have teeth, man. They don't look like insects.
But
well, no shit. They're not real, bro.
But Slither,
they're not insects though, man. They're not insects.
But neither are slugs.
Yeah.
And leeches. They're not really insects.
Yeah, but nor Deadly Spawn, they have fucking legs, man, at some of them. They're not the same thing. Not at all.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if we're doing
they're not slugs, bro.
I think that one's completely outside the box for sure.
I think so too.
But slugs, just specific slugs. I mean, Slither in a sense, but those are still like little. I mean, they're considered like little alien creatures, I guess, in a sense.
But, I mean, if we do that, why don't we just do Night of the Creeps, Slither, and what's the other one we were just talking? Deadly Spawn.
Because I don't really feel like those are killer animal movies.
No, we won't put them in the killer animal movies. We'll do them on their own.
Yeah,
they came from space.
It doesn't have to be zoology. It's like a slithery, slithery space.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying is I don't want to add those to zoology.
I agree. Let's not. Those 3 belong together, though.
Yeah, we can just think of alliteration show. Slithery space right there.
You can just do it. It came from space category, so you can always do space invasions.
Volume 1.
Yeah,
you could also put killer clowns in there and shit. You know.
I'm a big fan of like sci-fi horror, like space shit and stuff. So
I love it too. Yeah.
Deadly Spawn was my favorite from '83. I was the one who was like, "Why would we do Deadly Spawn for some series?"
Well,
but I was like, "This is a fucking pipe dream, bro."
I already got my guess.
Yeah, well, you'll probably be close to it.
When is the good edition of Deadly Spawn coming out? Like
never.
Synapse said,
Synapse is lazy.
Dude, it's been
years. The greedy and the lazy.
They're probably not lazy. They're
they're not lazy at all. They're perfectionist.
They just take their time. And they don't have a big.
They're perfectionist.
Yeah, that's why Creature from Black Lake looks like a fucking brand new movie right now. It's insane. So
that's why Creature from Black Lake looks more remastered than the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm okay with them taking their time on it.
But honestly, I am too, and I think we talked about this before with Deadly Spawn, because Deadly Spawn is one of those films that's fantastic and really does need that good treatment, because all the transfers really, they are what they are. Like the Blu-ray that came out, I think looked worse than the fucking DVD.
It's a 16 millimeter too, man. It's a cheap movie.
And I'm not saying Synapse's DVD of Deadly Spawn or whatever, it's not bad, but I mean, if you're going to remaster this shit into high def, like, they could probably do it the best. So
yeah,
seeing that movie on the big screen was one of my favorite experiences.
How did it look?
Good. It looked like film. It was like a rough print. It wasn't real. I've seen actually Halloween looks worse than most of the prints that I've seen.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's so weird that it's called Halloween, and Halloween is known for orange, and the whole print is like deeply orange.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But Deadly Spawn looked great on film.
Huh.
That movie's got so many good moments. That's like one of my favorite independent horror movies ever made, Deadly Spawn.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Her fucking delivery is so great. When what the fuck was that? It's exactly what you'd do too if you saw that thing. That thing's horrifying. The main monster.
Was one of my favorite. This was like such a good show they did Alligator, The Boogans, Critters, and Deadly Spawn.
Boogans is not on the caliber of those other movies.
It was fun though.
What the hell is a boogin anyways? Like, I never understood what the fuck a boogin is.
All I know, what they do is they put your ass to sleep.
No,
that's just the movie.
I like the Boogans.
No, I know what he's doing. He's just hating on Canada again. I know exactly what he's doing.
It is Canadian, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And here's proven Stephen King's got terrible taste in movies. He was like, The Boogans is great.
The Boogans, it could be a better movie if they just
The Boogans.
if they just put more Boogans in it and made it a little bit better pacing.
They changed the fucking title. What the fuck is that Boogan? Get the fuck out of here.
Pacing in that movie is dreadful, man.
Sounds like they're trying to sell toys with that name.
Yeah, that's the shitty thing, man. Like the poster art for that and the name is pretty cool because it's like, what the fuck is a Boogan? And
you want to run it, and then you watch it, and there's like 45 minutes of just old guys talking in a fucking bar. Like,
yeah,
it's like they took the scene from My Bloody Valentine when they're getting drunk and extended it for an hour.
Right.
Hey, here's 10 minutes of My Bloody Valentine.
With way less interesting characters.
Just drunk Canadian miners, like, so I was down there looking and I saw some fucking Boogan. He's looking at me, eh?
and the funny thing is, because that shit's takes place in the East Coast, so they actually do say that. That's how they talk.
I just remember there being a lot of drunk Canadians. It's just like, what if Chud was even more boring than it already is?
Drinking their fucking moose head.
Let's make Chud with less monsters, even though it was made before Chud. I think it's an 81. Boogans is 81, Chud's 84.
Yeah, it's made before them.
Subterranean Horror, Volume 1. Boogans and Chud 1.
Yeah, because Chud 2 is like...
Chud 2 is just Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
It is. Yeah. It's just an offshoot, man. It's just name only. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you got anything else?
Yeah, I do. So speaking of all these insects, did you know, fun fact, a cockroach can live for a week without its head?
Well, that would explain why they've lasted like 100 million years. And
oh shit.
Like, they're indestructible.
It literally can, you can cut its head off and it'll wander around for a week without a head.
It's like there's something wrong with that genetic makeup. Like, that's just wrong.
Yeah, and usually they die from dehydration because they can't drink.
I guess not, right? That's crazy. It doesn't die from actually not having a head. That's ridiculous. Yeah, those things are like freaks of nature, man. Because like they even said, like, you know, if the world gets bombed, you know, the atomic fallout and shit, the only thing that'll survive is the cockroaches, because the
Cockroaches
radiation...
and Charlie Band, according to Roger Corman,
right?
Who produced one of the movies here.
Right. Yeah. The radiation doesn't penetrate their shells. So
yeah, they're one of the most successful animals in history.
And so are like alligators and crocodiles are too.
Right.
Yeah, it's because they have like perfect digestive tracts, right? So
fun fact, cockroaches originated more than 280 million years ago during the Carboniferous era.
I don't know if you know this, bro, but the planet's only 7,000 years old. I'm fucking with you.
and also
somebody off right there.
They weren't falling off of cliffs because the whole world is flat too, right? So
no doubt.
They just walked in a straight line for 100 billion years. It's crazy.
Fun fact.
That was before they hollowed out the earth.
Speaking of walking in a straight line, they can run up to 3 miles in an hour.
They're tiny.
Really?
Yeah, 3 miles in an hour.
That's pretty good.
They're doing 20-minute miles, bro.
That's pretty good for something that's like 2 inches long. That's fucking crazy. That's
fun fact, Moodz. The world's largest cockroach is 6 inches long.
Dude, if I saw a 6-inch long cockroach, it's funny too, because like we don't have cockroaches where I live, so I've
never seen them here.
I've seen them in other places, like down in the south, but like I don't live with them. It's not a daily occurrence for me.
Well, they're only found in South America, and this specific species of cockroach has a 1 foot wingspan. So when it spreads out,
that's ridiculous. No, I think when I was in California, they have them in California for sure, because when I was there,
I've seen them in Florida. When I was in Florida, they were everywhere.
Dude, I used to live in an apartment and there were fucking cockroaches everywhere. I hated it so much. Like, I literally hated everything.
They have those flying ones in Florida. Like, I went to like take a shit in the morning at night when I was like, we were on vacation, and like they had like this weird little like enclosed thing that was outside, right?
Yeah.
That you could see outside, and it was like kind of like just a decorative thing. There's just like roaches flying back and forth in between it. It was like, ugh, fucking huge, bro. What do they call them? Pimento bugs, the ones that fly, the big ones?
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see some of those big flying, they're not but they look like a cockroach. You'll see some of them up here and stuff in the summer, but it's kind of strange to see.
These were roaches, man.
They're migrating too far up here. It's global warming, man. You should never find shit like that where we are, but you do. It's fucking strange.
I tell you what, they belong in Florida.
But anything flying like that is it's disturbing. It's nasty.
Well, there's really only fun fact, there's 4,000 different species of cockroaches worldwide, but only about 3 to 4 species actually live with people inside of homes, and that's the German cockroach, the American cockroach, the Oriental cockroach, and the brown banded cockroach.
What's the brown?
What's a brown bandit? Was that fucking like the guys from Home Alone, the sticky bandits?
Exactly
brown
what I was thinking.
Banded.
Oh, banded.
Yeah, not bandit. I just picture a little cockroach with the fucking the little like.
Get it, Harry? We're the wet bandits. I love at the end of that movie where he's like, yeah, and dude, are you flooding all the sinks so you can track all those back? And he starts kicking them. You fucking idiot.
I told you so.
Let's just do Home Alone 1 and 2. Two equally great movies.
Well, if we do Home Alone 2, we got to get Dave Z on, man, and then
he's like, they jumped the shark. This movie's way more unrealistic than the first one. There's no way they would have left him home alone twice.
Funny enough, I actually think that's something he actually said.
He did say that.
And that bum lady's just like the guy with the shovel in the first one. I want Dave Z to watch Austin Powers 1, 2, and 3, and then watch him like get so mad as the sequels are the same movie over and over again.
Oh fuck, totally.
He's like, the fat guy's too much. He's not funny. He's just stupid.
Oh fuck. It's too good. Fun fact. No, I don't have one. Just bugging each other.
I do. Fun fact, it's surprising that cockroaches don't live by Moodz in Canada too much because they're actually attracted to alcohol. And
what are you insinuating?
Especially beer.
Yeah.
That's actually true. They're attracted to the hops and the sugar.
I would not be like, I mean, the way I think
specifically
it's just
American
it's just the cold climate. I mean, even in the summer, it's probably just maybe it's too cold for them. I don't know. I don't.
Or maybe you guys aren't filthy animals like us,
bro.
But I mean, it's probably warm enough that they could survive now, but maybe not in the winter.
I mean, your house isn't filthy though. I've never lived anywhere where there was cockroaches. I mean, in an apartment, you're kind of fucked because they're already there. If they're there, they're there.
Listen, bro. It was
in New York, you're fucked too. They're just everywhere, I guess. In New York, it's too late.
It's like the rat problem there, man. There's nothing
too
you
late.
can do about it. Yeah.
Nothing you could do about it.
I hated them.
Both indestructible creatures, man. You can't get rid of rats either.
And they're so ballsy too. Like they get so
rats
damn
or roaches
ballsy.
or both.
Both. But roaches like they'll just literally like crawl, like it'll just crawl on you thinking you're not going to kill it. Like fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it true that cockroaches don't actually technically bite?
They do not bite. That is another one of my fun facts.
It's funny because I read this fun fact on I think it was the Bug movie that we're about to do. But anyways, William Castle was explaining to I think the main actress in the film that there's nothing to be scared of. I think Joanna Miles in the film, she's terrified of cockroaches, and he's like, well, there's nothing to be worried about. And he grabbed a real cockroach because I think they grabbed a bunch from the streets and stuff for the filming of the movie.
Yeah, but they're all filthy and shit.
And he put it on his arm and it fucking bit him.
Did it really?
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking hilarious because I always thought that cockroaches didn't bite either, but I was reading this and I'm like, that's pretty funny. I think they even specify in this too that they don't technically bite, but
no, yeah. They don't bite. And
maybe
they
also can scratch them or something. I don't know.
They also can live for up to 3 months. Fun fact: they also can live up to 3 months without food. 3 months. That's why they can't get rid of it.
But that's very similar to like crocs and alligators and stuff like that too, right? They can eat and then not eat again for like another year.
Yeah, but they don't move. They just crocs and shit.
It's something about their genetic makeup, like the way they digest food. They can digest it so slow.
Well, I mean,
and
think of frogs too, like or something. They can fucking hibernate over winters and shit. But a lot of animals are just better at surviving than us.
Yeah, and plus I think
good at killing them.
They're not really that prone to diseases and shit, so they don't have that factor either. Where a lot of animals do get certain diseases and they die off and stuff, but crocs.
They also have a septic bite too. A lot of those kind of things like that. The crocodiles and alligators.
Yeah, because they're prehistoric along with the cockroaches. So yeah, fuck.
Here on 22 Shots, you not only hear us talk about movies, but you learn about animals.
And the intro turned into a fucking into a 101 lesson.
It's zoology.
It is zoology, yeah.
Get my zoo cards out.
Yeah, cockroaches are...
You remember zoo books?
I had them all.
Yeah.
Moodz probably didn't have zoo books up in Canada.
Yeah,
Uneducated pricks.
We have Zoom books.
They had hockey books.
Yeah, you know what?
They had infomercials. It's like it had like had different hockey players on the covers.
No, literally in our libraries, there was a hockey book section, and there was also a beer book section too.
What the fuck? It's a kid's library.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No shit, man. It's so 80s. It's ridiculous. And it's right next to the fucking hockey section too. Beer and hockey goes together, you know. It's all we knew. It's all we knew. Eh?
It's working out good now.
I don't think I used that properly. I don't know. But
Christian actually sounds Canadian where you don't.
Well, because Ontario East, that's where all those stereotypes in the accent and the way they talk and stuff. And half the time, I don't even fucking understand what the hell they're even talking about.
I mean, Americans have so many fucking stereotypical accents just by geographical location. Like everybody sounds like a stereotype in America. It just depends where you're from.
Well, the funny thing is you can literally go just like 3 hours away and the accents will be completely different in America.
As they say, I have a Point Place accent, which is like such a small, little, tiny place.
Yeah.
Like,
well, New York is fascinating.
Everybody sounds the same.
You go to the next borough and people sound completely different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You're in Brooklyn, you go to Manhattan and stuff. Everyone sounds different. They use different
it's kind of like
it's crazy.
England as well is like that.
Oh yeah, tons and tons. But I mean, Canada from the east to the west, like the East Coast is so much older and has so much more, I guess, migration from England and into Ireland, and all those accents and everything kind of got blended over there. So that's why everyone kind of talks like that and stuff. And as the further west you go, it's so much newer. Like it's crazy. Like in the middle, I think Saskatchewan and stuff, like they have really odd accents there.
Do they not force Quebecians to learn English?
No, they don't have to.
Why?
Where the rest of Canada actually has to take French, I think, until the 8th grade, and then
that's some bullshit. Because I was checking in these people from Quebec the other day, and they didn't speak English, and I'm like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Yeah, no, they don't. That's
bro. That's a touchy subject. Aren't they basically wanting to separate a lot and all that kind of shit?
Yeah, they
why don't you just let them go? Bro.
There's tons of separatists in
That's
Quebec.
Like fucking Texas always talking about me like we want to separate from these. Like, yeah, just shut
try it out, see how that works.
But the problem is, like, in theory, they know that they can't do it because if they separated from Canada, like nobody would trade with them. Like, so how they're gonna fucking survive, right?
I don't think they're thinking about that.
But that's crazy. Like, it's just not gonna work, right? It's crazy. But yeah, no.
Wait, why wouldn't they trade with them?
Because if they want to go independent,
they sound like dicks. It's like you leave us, we're not gonna help you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more politics to that and stuff. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, it was a big thing for you. I don't really hear about the whole separatist thing anymore.
That you guys have to learn French and you're the majority, but they don't have to learn English and they're the minority.
Yeah, it is strange. It is very strange. Yeah,
because we even have to take languages in America.
I think a lot of people in Quebec though, like they choose to learn English though too.
Assholes about it.
Yeah, yeah. So
I mean, Americans are terrible. They're the type of people that like put bumper stickers in the back and they're like, it's like, speak English. And it's like, bro, they get mad at people with broken English. It's like, that's their fourth language, bro. You can barely speak English.
Care
Shut your fucking mouth, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's stupid. But like in American high school, you have to learn a second language, right?
Yeah, you had to pick one. I mean, I learned Spanish because I was like, what's the easiest? They didn't offer Italian. I wanted Italian, so I took Spanish.
Well, I think in California, the
Spanish
official
is the most useful too around here
for us. Well, I would only take an Italian because the movies, but they didn't have it. So
right, yeah. Then
I ain't learning no Nazi language.
In California, Spanish is the official second language there, right? Like it became an official second language there.
The official second language of the entire United States is Spanish.
Oh no! Oh really? Okay. Well, there you go. There you go.
Si, senor. I took Spanish in college too. I barely know fucking any anymore.
Dude, I'm the worst Mexican ever because I don't know any.
That's funny.
I know how to count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep, that's right.
Yep,
it's bang on. Yeah, Spanish is actually quite easy to learn, to be honest.
That's what they say.
It like if you actually start to think about it and break it down, it's really not that hard.
They also say that it's harder to learn different language later in life, which makes sense.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I believe that.
Because I think about when you learn language, it just kind of feels like it happened.
Right.
I don't remember doing it.
Yeah, could you
That just
imagine?
happened.
Could you imagine like a 50-year-old trying to learn Ebonics? That would be crazy and funny.
Can you imagine trying to learn sign language at like 50? How hard that shit would be? Because you'd be like,
Man,
because you're
sign
fucking
language-
motors. You're like,
It's
I feel like I feel
confusing.
like that should be mandatory in school. Like something
Yeah.
useful like that. Like teach us sign language, bro.
that is weird. Like in school, they're like, we're going to teach you how to gallop. It's like, why don't you teach me Spanish right now?
right.
Or like
We're
how
gonna
to do
teach
my
ya.
taxes.
Yeah, like, bro, like, we're going to teach you about galloping and jump and crisscrossing your legs. It's like, bro, I don't need this. When am I going to be
Right.
crisscrossing my legs at 40? I can't even barely stand up.
It's true though, bro. Like, why don't they it's so dumb, this stuff that you're like have to spend so much time on. It's like, dude, I became an adult and didn't know how to do my taxes. I have to go pay someone to do my taxes.
And what's funny is they give you taxes in senior math, like the failed math classes when you learn your taxes. Like,
Right.
if you're smart and you take like the good math classes, like you learned algebra at like 6. It's like you are going to use math, but you might not use algebra fucking 3, but you will need to know how to do your taxes.
Right. It's probably one of the things you're gonna need to know how to do like very soon.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep. Well,
Thanks, Biden.
should we get into the reviews?
Yeah.
Let's not review today.
Okay, let's talk about math class. You know what really sucks about math class is they don't really teach you about cockroaches.
No, I want to learn about cockroaches. That's why I went to school in the first place.
Yeah, I would assume they probably don't in math class. Not at all.
Well,
Fucking
you know
math
what?
class, anyways. I hate math.
Let's learn about cockroaches through these movies.
Yes, let's
There
do
you
that.
go. Let's do that.
All right. With that said, that's going to conclude the intro, and we'll be back here with some cockroach reviews. Yo, who this?
Yo, Moodz, it's your boy, the ill-mannered funky child, calling you to remind you that the featured reviews on this episode contain spoilers.
Aw, yeah, man, that's right, brother. Thanks for the heads up, playa. Now go back to being an unproductive asshole.
Fuck you. I tell your listeners to stop being so dumb, silly, sensitive.
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right. So getting into the featured reviews here on episode 235. 36. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to start with 1977's simply titled movie, Bug. You cannot get any more simple than that. Fun fact. That's going to be the thing of the show, isn't it, JP?
Yep.
Fun facts.
Fun fact: cockroaches are brown, black, or mixed in color, kind of like humans.
Right. So this movie was directed by Janot Swark. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I know the name because he directed Jaws 2.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he directed Jaws 2, but recently, because I'm actually a really big fan of this movie, I don't know why I am. From 1985, the Santa Claus, the movie. You guys ever see that movie? It's not a horror film, but
No.
you guys
No.
you guys never seen that one? It's a
I've
Christmas
seen
movie.
the Tim Allen Santa Claus.
Yeah. So this one was done in 1985. It's the Dudley Moore film.
Okay.
It's actually pretty cool, man. I watch it every odd year and stuff, but I rewatch it again. But anyways, he directed that one too, which I'm just very familiar with. And I believe that he did something else.
So, do you think people watched Bug and they're like, "This guy's perfect for Jaws 2"?
Yeah, right. It is strange. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. I doubt it.
His filmography is all over the place, man. He did a lot of TV series and TV movies and stuff like that. And then, of course, he did Bug in 75. That was actually penned by William Castle, who wrote the screenplay of the film.
That's
And-
cool.
And produced it, right?
Yeah, and
I
produced
guarantee this dude was not the first choice for Jaws 2. They probably offered to like 6 guys.
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, so William Castle. Well, fun fact about that too. This was the last movie he actually ever worked on before he died in 77. So
Oh,
William
that's
Castle?
depressing.
yeah. So he did this in 75 and then passed away in 77. So, but yeah, so he did Bug, Jaws 2, which I guess would have been 3 years later. He did a bunch of TV stuff in there. So I'm probably assuming that he did. He wasn't the first choice for this. I'm assuming. I mean, a lot of TV work and stuff in there. He worked on Kojak though. He did like 13 episodes. That's kind of funny. And did he do something else? He tons of TV. Like his filmography is like basically TV movies, TV series, and like Jaws 2 and Bug.
You know what cracks me up about the cast in this movie? It's
What's
fucking
that?
Bradford Dillman's in it, right? And I mentioned this in a review because I already shot my review for it. It's not live yet, but Bradford Dillman, who was in Piranha, right?
Right.
And he plays the same fucking character in every movie. And he's also in Chosen Survivors, if I'm not mistaken. He always plays in these kind of movies. But in the original script of Piranha, if I'm not mistaken, basically weren't the piranha like brought back by a crack in the ground? And they use that in the remake, right?
Yeah.
There's a big crack in the and that's what happens here is the fucking roaches come out because there's like an earthquake or something and there's a crack in the ground. So essentially,
honestly, that happens a lot in these type of movies.
isn't that weird though? Like, because this guy he's in the original Piranha. Like, I mean, this guy's in a few animal attacks movies, and he's just always like such a stale kind of generic guy. And he's Bradford Dillman. He's just that guy.
He just has that look, like, and he's in tons of these type of movies. And you're right, though, like this became almost like a trope for shark films, like the shitty shark films in the 2000s and stuff, like this type of narrative where there's an earthquake and it basically like releases whatever's under the ground. It literally in this case, it kind of broke the ground apart, and then these cockroaches came. Apparently
now
they were
we're
from
doing that
real deep down in the earth, right? And so they came to the surface.
We're doing that with nowadays we're doing it with like Antarctic stuff, like Arctic stuff, like basically the glaciers will melt and there'll be some weird creature in it, like fucking blood glacier. And I know Slashback wasn't like that exactly, but it was kind of like that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just kind of strange, Mm-hmm. Like, I'm surprised you know what? I wonder if they would make that take if they remade the thing now or did a prequel, if they'd make it like, or just made some kind of sequel, kind of made it like that actually just froze on its own. Like it thawed on its own. Yeah.
It unfroze on its own?
Yeah, like, because that's obviously, they're making a lot of movies like that now too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Bacteria's within the glaciers that we haven't been exposed to in years. But that's that's the new crack in the ground. That's the new crack in the ground.
Bro.
Well, to be honest, it kind of makes sense because the whole thing is it's a little played out. There's like hundreds of movies with this exact narrative. There was an earthquake, but then there's no explanation to anything. It's just like, oh, these things were prehistoric and this is just what they were.
That's kind of like Tremors too, right?
In the first
we
time,
assumed that there was some sort of earthquake or something that unleashed them.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So quick little synopsis on Bug, which we pretty much gave away. An earthquake releases a strain of mutant cockroaches with the ability to start fires, which is pretty unique in itself. Yeah, it's very unique, which proceed to cause destructive chaos in a small town. The studies carried out by scientist James, however, reveal an intent with much more far-reaching consequences. Well, that's because he kind of created that himself, right? But
this guy is such a douchebag. Like, did anyone else question? Like, at the very end, I was like, "What is he doing?" Like, I thought he was just depressed, trying to find a way to eradicate it. Sorry, spoiler.
No, he's trying to.
Then at the end, shit. Yeah, I know, but bro, it's time to eradicate these things. You've seen what happened. And he's like, they're gonna die on their own. He's like, I can't allow that. I got to make this way worse than it should be.
I know, that's the funny thing about this narrative is that literally, if you had just went on with your fucking day, they would have just died off, because there's some really interesting ideas in the narrative, which I think is kind of unique.
The bends. The roaches got the bends too.
Yeah, like the roaches.
The way you said that was funny.
So the roaches are very unique in itself because they have the ability to start fires, which I've never seen that before with bugs and stuff. So that's kind of unique. But then they discover also that these cockroaches are basically dying off because they came from way down below in the earth. And what happens is they were able to survive down at the, kind of the PSI that's down there. So when they come to the earth, they're actually being crushed. They can't release their pressure, right? So there's actually a really cool scene in the film where he stabs one and it kind of blows up, the way they do the effect and stuff, but it kind of shows that the pressure that's building up in these things, and they're essentially just going to die off on themselves.
Yeah. So they're like dangerous right now, but they'll
be gone shortly.
Wow.
So basically, let's try to mate them with a regular cockroach and ruin
make them
the entire planet.
Superhuman cockroaches.
I get it from a standpoint. Like you want to study them and do things and stuff.
Because that's what scientists do. It's
but dude, he should be so distraught. I thought he was trying to destroy it. I know it is a commentary, but it's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Like this guy is such a fucking idiot that I cheered on the roaches when he died at the end.
I know.
I was like, fuck you, dumb fuck.
He goes like mad a little bit too.
I know, he goes crazy. I didn't even know what his
nuts.
And then he talks to that one guy. He's like, "You should help me because what
So
they
are they
did."
trying-
It's like, are you trying to kill them? No, you're trying to breed them and then like get yourself like them named after you. Fuck off, you trash bag.
That's the weird thing about this movie. Like the first 30 minutes are very interesting. We get all these factoids about what these cockroaches are, what they are, and how they're dying off, and how they even travel. Like they actually don't have eyes, and they're traveling basically. They're hitching rides, essentially. They're
hitchhiking rides. They're just going to anything that could possibly be like combustible and getting on it or something.
His reaction
to the
his reaction when he figures out like how they're traveling, he's like, "Oh, this is what they're doing." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck, they're hitchhiking, motherfucker. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
that they're getting around." But I get the whole idea.
The most dangerous hitchhiker since Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right. I get the fact, though, like it is a scary idea, these cockroaches with the ability to start fires, because if these things spread out to various locations, like they would just start fires everywhere. Like you need to contain that kind of thing. Yeah. But that narrative doesn't really get explored as much as him. This movie is almost like a descent into his psyche. Like this guy is so obsessed with figuring out something that doesn't
kind of like of unknown origin, right?
Because he's a very smart professor. They've already concluded that these things are going to die off on their own. They can't survive on the Earth's atmosphere because of the pressure. So therefore, they're going to die off, and that was the end of it. So you take the second half of the movie after the first 30 minutes, which are pretty exciting. There's some pretty cool scenes with like vehicles catching on fires and other characters dying and things like that.
But then talk some about the first 30 minutes before we move on. I thought it was brilliant that they opened it up with the preacher saying it's a big hellfire and everybody's going to burn. And then you're like, oh, this is so cool. This is going someplace. It's creating this small town of these individuals. And then it goes into your descent into madness. And it was fine, but it kind of was just a little lackluster, to be honest.
Actually, that scene where the earthquake is still the beginning of the movie, like Dave just said, you have this preacher who's literally, he's telling you what's going to happen kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it's so cool.
And then this earthquake happens. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was watching the preacher while the earthquake was happening. He's still fucking preaching the whole time. He's literally still giving
He's going down with the ship, message. He's going down with the ship.
He is. He's totally going down with the ship. He's the fucking captain, bro. It's hilarious, man. I'm watching him and he's like literally still preaching shit. I'm like, this is fucking, that's batshit insane, dude. Like, who would do that? Like, the building is literally getting ripped apart. There's beams that are falling down. This guy's like, praise the Lord. And I'm like,
he's a dedicated man of God.
I'm like, burn. He's like, we're all gonna burn. It's coming true.
He's definitely what do they call those guys?
He was the Messiah.
Like those horrible preachers that always talk. No, the preachers that talk about you fucking like burning in hell no matter what. There's like a certain like limit. I can't remember what their denomination is. That there's only X amount of place in heaven and everybody else is doomed to burn, so it doesn't matter. But yet, if it doesn't matter, I'm already predetermined to burn in hell. Then why the fuck am I even here? No,
right? Exactly. I've never understood that whole angle. Right?
It's like there's only X amount of places in heaven and they've all been chosen and it's fate, then why the fuck do I even bother coming?
Yeah, so you're right. The movie starts out fantastic, and then we get these cockroaches, and then we get some deaths. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, you see these cockroaches coming out of mufflers and stuff, and also this vehicle, like, fucking, explodes into fucking fire, and people are dying and burning.
The deaths are great. Like, there's a couple deaths in here of people getting fucked up, and I was like, this is brutal.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes are really good because we get a lot of this.
And the damn sound, the sound that they're using is, like, very unsettling.
Yeah.
Poor Patty McCormick from fucking Bad Seed. That's the girl from the Bad Seed, and she gets fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets it the worst.
I love the look of this desert town. It like gives me Wes Craven Hills Have Eyes vibes.
Good call.
Yeah, actually, my very first note on my thing is like it captures a small town feel so well. It really does.
They do for sure.
Especially with the desert setting, though, like this California desert. Like it just looks cool. I miss movies don't look like that at all anymore.
No. I just like the fact that these things are like literal firebugs.
They are just like. Yeah, that's so weird. It's such a weird concept. It's like you would think like you just do the simple like, well, let's just make them like people on fire. It's like that's bizarre.
So as the third, so
I love how just like after a couple seconds, like the whole town's on fire. like there's all these fire trucks and stuff. Pretty sure there's some stock footage in there too.
Oh, there probably is. But like the movie just takes such a drastic turn. It almost gets like psychological. It feeds into this professor's obsession with
so formulaic. because they all are. Most of them are from the like 70s onward. There's a very simple formula. It's a very simple formula.
It's almost the same formula as a disaster movie. They're all the same formula. Like it's like you know.
This one kind of deviates from that because I guess it was early.
Well, it becomes very individualized. Like it becomes he becomes so obsessed with the idea of changing this thing and not allowing it to die that like it kind of gets away from, I guess, where the first 30 minutes of the narrative was kind of going and stuff. But like all the stuff that he's really doing and that he's losing his mind over and stuff. And there's even points too where he descends so deep into his own madness that like you even wonder if it's even happening. But then you do soon realize that what he's doing actually is happening and stuff. And these, he's created like a different, like he breeds these cockroaches and then they become smart.
His dessert scene is really good.
He basically evolves. It basically, like, it's kind of that old story, like if you want to play God, you're going to get burned, quite literally, kind of thing, right? So if you're changing nature and you're doing things,
story, right?
It is the Frankenstein story, and I like the fact that they're literally using the burning as as a driving force here. But like the scenes where those cockroaches like almost start to communicate and they start spelling out words, I'm like, okay, is this really happening?
That is fucking creepy, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, is this really happening? It
reminded me of Joe's Apartment, which because for some reason neither of you fucks have seen.
Yeah.
Like he's literally lost his mind. And I'm like, these things are spelling out, but then you soon realize, oh yeah, this is totally fucking happening. But it's just like, if you're going to change shit, man, you're going to get burned. And like, it's a very interesting angle this film takes from the first act. And then the next 45 minutes of the film is literally this dude housed up in this like cabin, just losing his fucking mind over these things. It's like really kind of odd. And then it kind of picks up towards the end and then it goes batshit with like literally flying fucking cockroaches.
And they're just like so weird. There's like bright fucking red.
Yeah.
Which is weird because cockroaches
it's the evolution.
Can fly.
Some
Fun
can.
fact.
Well, there's only some. I think there's very few species that can actually fly, and they can't fly very far, right? They're kind of
They can't fly very far, but
they're kind of like ducks,
and
right?
They
can fly.
They don't really fly, but they can fly.
It's like flying fish. They can fly for a certain
ones in Florida
distance,
flew.
and then they just fall in the back in the water, right?
They kind of just like flew back and forth just to get up higher is what the roaches were doing in Florida.
Yeah. So
they weren't like flying like a bird. They wouldn't take off and then like fly halfway across the state, They were just kind of gliding like a squirrel or something, a flying squirrel.
Well, that actually was on my fun facts list. I just know all this stuff, actually. But they do fly. They can fly.
You know what's really funny about these movies? Like
American cockroaches I believe, can't fly, though.
No. You know what's really interesting about these films? Like they're essentially all very similar, right? But different. They got different core narratives to them, like the cause and effect of, the cockroaches and stuff. But there's one thing that all these movies have in common. There's always a mutilation of an animal in each one. This one has a mutilation of a cat that just gets really fucked
very
up.
Very unpleasant, bro.
And then the dog in the next, and then the third one, there's like a guinea pig. Like there's always
a dog. There's a cat in the second one too.
Yeah, but then the dog one, like the dog is, that's fucking just
that
gnarly.
Cat is fucked.
Yeah, the cat.
Yeah, I think that cat was dead for real. Like it was very
dude. Well, I even have that written in my notes too. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like the dead cat that they show, like the after effect, that was definitely a real cat.
Well, what we don't know is that after effect was dead. So either they like had a cat that looked like it that was dead for like a science experiment, and they just found a cat that looked like the dead cat. I don't fucking know. But all that I know is that there was an unlisted PA on here called Ruggero Deodato, so that might have something to do with it.
Wait, what?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the
that
fuck
would be
up.
fucking crazy, but
but like that scene with
we killed a cat for real. Why? Cinema.
Yeah, that scene is crazy, man. This cat's like in this field and it's just getting attacked by these like firebugs and it's just jumping around in the way the sound effects are.
The sound effects, dude. The sound effects are so cool in this film. It's freaking.
So that was very effective. But then it just changes gear. Like, I don't really know what to think of like the next 40. Well, it's actually like 50, 55 minutes of this dude housed up here just losing his mind. And it's literally just him. And every once in a while, somebody will bring him like some supplies or something. And he loses it on them and fucking blah, blah.
It's very 50s style sci-fi. That last 50 minutes, it's like a Godzilla movie. It's like, now we're going to talk for an hour. Why? Because we only got $25 to make Godzilla.
That's what I said.
We ran out of money.
I wrote this in my notes. I'm like, they blew their wad in the first half an hour with all these special effects and the cats and the burning. Because they do burn a lot of shit in the first half an hour.
There's a lot of special effects at the end and the beginning, and then there's none for like 20 minutes.
there's none for like 45 minutes at least.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
It's crazy. But the beginning, there's a lot of shit that burns. They literally blow up, those vehicles, and there's fires everywhere, buildings and shit, which could be stock. I have no idea. But and then the end, of course, the effects are what they are. But
the leading guy he's such a weird actor to me. Like, I don't know if I like him or dislike him as an actor. He's just there. Like, he's just that Bradford Dillman is always just there. This is the first time I've seen him completely fucking unhinged, though.
Yeah, he's completely out of it, man. I remember him from, he was in which
Piranha, for sure.
No, he was in a Dirty Harry movie too.
Which one was he in Magnum Force?
Here, I'm gonna look it up.
I'll look it up.
Here it is, right here. The Enforcer.
Oh, the second one? Is that the second one? That's the third one.
He plays the captain in it, right? I just know that face. Yeah, I think he's the police captain in that film.
Well, who's the captain in the first Dirty Harry?
Harry.
John Vernon's not in the first one, is he? Is he a captain? I mean, I know John Vernon did a bunch of movies with Clint Eastwood. Well, the captain in the first one is somebody of note. Now we're talking about Dirty fucking Harry movies.
Yeah, it's somebody. I can't remember. Honestly, I just watched all of them too, and I can't remember the fucking who it is.
Dude, those movies are awesome, by the way.
He's definitely in The Enforcer for sure. I knew he was in one of them because I've seen all the Dirty Harry movies so many times. I'm like, I know Dillman from one of the films. Piranha. He's just got that face. It seems like he's in so much. Oh, he was in.
Is he in Chosen Survivors? I feel like he is.
He's also in Sudden Impact. He plays Captain Briggs in it, so he plays a different character.
Sudden Impact's the one I like. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the mayor is John Vernon. John Vernon's the mayor in Dirty Harry. He is in it.
Okay, so it's funny because in The Enforcer he plays Captain McKay, and then in Sudden Impact he plays Captain Briggs.
What the fuck is he going on? That's
so he
so
plays
weird.
two different characters, but he plays the same position as a captain. I don't even think I
names their kid Bradford.
Well, there's one guy in one dude. I think it's one of the black. I think it's a black. He plays in all five of Dirty Harry movies. He's got small parts, but he plays different characters like in all of them. It's hilarious. Can't remember what the guy's name is right now. But yeah, anyways, Bradford Dillman, I get it though, man. I get like the unappeal to him, and I get the appeal because he has that face that's very recognizable, and you're like, oh, I know that dude. Like I know him from shit. He's been in other movies that I like and stuff, and then. But he's almost unrecognizable by the end of this movie. Like it's like he's just outdid himself so much, and he's so.
If you ever want to make a character look unhinged, just have him show up with a beard.
Yeah,
especially a clean cut guy like that. That guy don't look like he ever has a beard.
Once he starts growing that beard, I'm like,
Don't they comment on it too? They're like, yeah, you look good with a beard.
They say he needs to take a bath or something. You start smelling.
Yeah, I like what he's like. I like when the dude like comes in there like looking for the chick, and he's like starts over explaining things like, and I fell asleep because of the cigarette. It was the cigarette.
Yeah, you know that somebody's lying when they over explain stuff or they volunteer information.
Right. It's like he's like just sees the tape and he's like, you know what, this was such a crazy accident. Like I was tired. I was fell asleep, but it was the cigarette.
He knows he's experimenting on those fire roaches.
The more I think about it, man, the more I'm disappointed in the movie. Like I like this movie, but
it's fine.
I just feel like there's a way better because so again, going back to the first 30 minutes when we learn all this stuff, another thing that we
the allegory with the fucking burning and the priest, you're like, oh cool, damnation, the earthquake, you're like, this is gonna be cool, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna spend 45 minutes with Bradford Dillman.
I just love the fact that like in 70s filmmaking, like they're literally fucking shit's on fire, shit's getting destroyed and stuff like that. But I like the other part of what they throw in with the cockroaches too, is the cockroaches actually eat the coals and the ash and stuff. That's actually kind of how they're surviving. So that's another kind of oddity that they throw in. So there's lots of like little anecdotes and little cool things that they make up the narrative of the cockroaches. But then it doesn't really get explored because I think the scariest thing about this film and having a kind of subterranean prehistoric cockroach that can start fires, which doesn't even really make any sense why they would have the ability to do that, considering they were like way down in the earth. What the fuck would they need that ability for? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, they eat ash, but so if they're down by the earth, they would be closer to the core, which would make it, they wouldn't burn. Do they die when they get burned? Because it would make sense if they burn, because they'd have a tougher exterior, you'd think, if they're closer to the core.
You would think so.
But they are attracted to eat ash, so they're immediately going to go to the car. I don't know why they can start fires, though.
Yeah, so it
doesn't make any sense.
It's a cool thing, but it doesn't really play out. But like I said, though, like going back to the fire thing, which I think is a really cool part of the narrative. I think it's a scary thought though. Like if you unearth
maybe it attracts other animals that are in the core that would be looking for warmth. Well,
just think about how much chaos that is potentially available here. I mean, these cockroaches theoretically, once they get unleashed, they can go everywhere, right? They're just going to go places. They're going to, travel, do whatever. Yeah. But if they start starting fires everywhere,
swarm animals.
If they start
also it doesn't make sense though because they can't see, so they wouldn't need the fire for light.
Right. But like my point is that if these things spread out and they started fires everywhere, that's a scary premise.
Maybe it's just a defense mechanism like the bombardier beetle in real life.
But they basically create their own food. They set something on fire, then eat the ashes. Exactly. Kind of like a fly lands on something and pukes on it and then sucks up the puke. It's similar to that. But for some reason, they only can digest ashes. But I don't know why. Probably because they grew up on by the Earth's core, which is all ash. So they ate. I don't know. So they somehow developed. They got away from the Earth's core and they couldn't eat the ashes anyway, so they evolved to create their own food source. Who the fuck knows? I mean, it's a movie about fire roaches. You can't really pick it apart that much.
So what I'm trying to get at here is that the idea that I find the scariest about this movie is that you have these cockroaches that have the ability to start fires. So if they get unleashed throughout the whole town, and you knowing this as a professor, as a scientist or whatever, that these things could start fires. I mean, really, you'd be living in terror because everywhere you go, there could potentially be a fire. Like things could just be burning down every single place.
This guy's so dumb. He just tries to make their life longer.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what I don't understand about the whole...
Me either.
Of him trying to genetically create...
I thought he was trying to kill them, but then he's trying to keep them longer so he can name something.
That's exactly what the problem is that it's almost like it changes. Like at first he wants to kind of study them, but then he realizes, I want to make them... Why would you want to make them fucking smarter?
Because it's science. That's what scientists do.
Yeah, but he never was like that before. In fact, you think after his wife died, he would be more upset at the roaches, but now he's got a complete 180. It's just like he doesn't make any sense.
He's obsessing over that.
It's a moral lesson though, man. You fuck with creations, man. This is what happens, man. You get buried.
I think it could have been more better. I don't think they handled it very well though.
I don't think they handled it perfectly, but I'm cool with it.
I think there's so many good ideas and there's so much terror with the fires. Like if they had not had this, this whole professor locked up in a house and like people are in the city and fires are getting started everywhere.
It could have been an amazing movie, but
we could have had character actor heaven. He could have been flying on like the preacher could have been Strother Martin. He could have been like, we're all gonna burn in hell, and then like a roach lands on his face and fucking he runs into a restaurant and fucking runs into the kitchen and explodes. We could have had so much cool shit. This movie's like, we're getting cheap on you. You
could have had family sitting down they're doing their prayers and all of a sudden these cockroaches are coming out of the fucking sink. They're starting fires and they're literally
shit.
But the terror is real because if there's potential to have a fire in every single place in the city, that's fucking scary, right?
And if you didn't have the money, you could have slipped back the cast like Tremors and had like a handful of people and just picked them off like Tremors did. I mean, like this movie, it's all right, but it's kind of a failed. Like it's really kind of like a letdown, to be honest.
I was really like rewatching this film. I was so upset that I didn't really remember it too well. And I was like, oh my God, there's so much potential here to have such a better movie. But they hold up this professor and it became psychological warfare. I'm like,
see, I kind of like that though, because it's just different. I've seen the movies you guys are talking about. I've seen a bunch.
Yeah, but you ain't seen fire roaches.
No,
I haven't.
But the ability to have that terror in every single place in the city is actually kind of cool. A lot of these type of movies.
We already got phase 4 for psychological trauma.
Yeah. I mean, other cockroaches, it's not really the biggest.
Phase 4?
No, phase 4 came out in
78, 74.
Is it 70? No. Yeah, phase 4 is like 73 or 74, something like that.
I'll look it up.
I haven't watched that in a long time.
It's been a while too since I watched it, but
no, I mean, I get where you guys are coming from. I definitely think this movie could have been a lot better. You can see that it had a lot more potential.
Phase 4 is 74.
And I just think honestly they spend like it's literally about 55 minutes of this guy holed up, but like I think they just spend too much time.
It's not that long. It's not that long at all.
Dude, this movie's 100 minutes. This movie is 100 minutes long. Down to the 100 minutes. It literally was time. It was like about 50 minutes of, the first 30 minutes, man. And you had 50, that's 80. There's still 20 more minutes, man. Like it only goes batshit at the end for like the last like 9-10 minutes. It's crazy.
It's 10 minutes. I was skipping through the movie. I swear it didn't start that him being all by himself until later than that, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, 30 minutes into a movie is still quite a bit. I mean, they cover, and like I said, the first 30 minutes are pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. And you're like, damn, this is kind of a different premise, man. Cockroaches that could have the ability to do this shit. Scary.
The first
fucking
first
scary.
30's great, and then the attack scenes are great. The lady on the phone, Patty McCormick's, her death scene's great, and some of Dillman's acting is worth it. But like I said, by the end of it, it kind of wore out its welcome. The last 10 minutes is pretty cool because you're so glad to watch Dillman get what the fuck he deserves for being a goddamn idiot.
Yeah, he's just like, see,
Pissing
you want to play God, you get fucking burned, bro. And like,
but he was just so stupid. I don't even understand his insanity. Like, I mean, guess you don't understand insanity, but even like, you know how people snap? Like when Rhodes snaps in Day of the Dead, you're like, I get it. Logan, I get it. Everybody. And then I don't know I don't get your reasoning. Like,
he's just like not a good dude.
He's just a dookie head.
But that's the thing, though.
It's a medical term.
He seems like he is, though. Like, he's this professor. People seem
at first.
They seem to like him, you know, going into this situation. Then he obviously psychologically changes his profile because he becomes so obsessed. But that happens with people get obsessed with things. They change, man. Your mentality is not the same as it once was, and it probably never will be.
You're being obsessed with these and it directly cause your wife to be alone and get killed by the roaches. And then instead of like backing away from the roaches and like he dives in even 10
Some
times
people
more.
Respond
but
to death
instead of trying to eradicate them quicker, he's like, I want to elongate their lives. Why?
See, that's the major problem with it, is that they were already dying off. Like, I mean, dude, I get it. That's why he wanted to, like, you know, kind of create and, you know, do this. But they were literally dying.
Like,
because
if I elongate these roaches that killed my wife, they'll forever be like continue. I don't know. Who knows?
He doesn't like. That's the thing with like scientists is they don't think that it's going to get out of hand. Like they think they can control everything. You know what I mean? So like us as an audience sees like obviously this is not going to end well.
I mean, you're right. You're right. It's just a little bit too fast. It's not handled perfectly. The transition.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's just like sloppy.
No.
It's like stumbling into it. It was kind of like now we're in the third act and this is fucking whatever.
You know, and I wouldn't even have that big of a problem with it either if they didn't have such great ideas in the first half an hour. Like it's just like holy shit, it gives you so much, and you're like, oh, really, dude.
So you know when the kid asked the professor if there's any bugs that can like create fire, which is funny. He actually mentions a beetle, which I believe he is referencing the bombardier beetle. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Well, no, but it's bombardier beetle. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the I've known about this for a while. I saw a video on it like on YouTube like 10 years ago, but it actually shoots near boiling like chemicals out of its abdomen, and that it kind of is similar to these fire roach things. You know what I mean? So
what's the point of it? Like, what is it? Just a defense mechanism?
Yeah. It actually has two chambers in its abdomen that has two different chemicals, and when they mix, it's one of them is hydrogen peroxide, but when they mix, it creates like a chemical reaction and it fucking shoots out of its.
Do scientists know why these exist? Because it's just such a strange characteristic in anything to be able to do that. I know it is.
That's there's a toad that has stuff that if you piss it off, it can actually shoot a liquid from behind its eye, and if it gets in your eyes, it can cause blindness.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
They do it to dogs a lot.
Yeah. Wow, dicks. Dogs are pretty nice.
Oh, dogs try to eat toads. You get fucking a face full of fucking.
And dogs will.
They're
and
just playing with them, bro.
They don't know, bro. You're a fat little toad. You ain't getting fucked with.
Yeah,
you got one fucking defense mechanism. You're just fucking fat.
Well, it's funny actually. There's videos of toads eating these bombardier beetles and then them fucking shooting this hot liquid in the toad's mouth and they're spit them out.
I've seen that. Toads doing that.
That's what she said.
But they're too stupid to register. They just keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's a move. That's an insect movie right there. Bombardier beetles.
Get sci-fi on the phone. I'm sure they got some fucking $6 to waste.
Yeah.
They got some clip art to make. Fucking. I'm good on this one.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about this movie actually.
Yeah. Ratings?
How about you go, JP?
Okay. I think I like this movie a little bit more than you guys. I've seen this movie a handful of times in my life, and I actually have it on DVD, which has a horrible cover, by the Scream Factory cover is way better on the blue. And I really like the transfer on this too. I love these like 70s movies. Like I said, it reminded me of Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven, or like mid 70s stuff. And especially the desert looks cool. Fun fact, cockroaches often leave a chemical trail in their feces that other roaches follow in search for food, which allows them to essentially create a swarm. And I like this movie, so I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Dave.
Fun fact, 6.5.
Actually, that's a lot closer than I thought.
Fun fact, the outside of the house was actually the Brady Bunch house. Or the exterior shots for the Brady Bunch.
Really?
Yeah, that's the same house that they used.
That's funny.
Shit.
That is funny, actually. It even says something, but it says there are several similarities to the Paramount's Phase 4 film. So yeah, this one is very comparable.
Oh,
to
also
Phase
fun
4.
fact, this is the second greatest movie named Bug in existence.
Oh,
William Friedkin's Bug's way better, bro.
Yeah,
Bug
that's why
is-
I said second best.
dude, that movie is fucking amazing, man. It's crazy. And talk about people holed up in a fucking room that go crazy and shit.
Well, that's some like A-list style act. Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon. That's a
I've
scary
always
movie.
said that Michael Shannon's performance in that is one of my all-time favorite performances ever.
Yeah,
Shannon's great.
Legitimate, man. They both knock it out the fucking park there.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I love.
You know how I saw that movie? Because I meant to buy a movie called Bug, and from Go
Yeah.
Hastings, they sent me
Right.
that.
Right.
And it was a sci-fi movie called Bug that I was trying to see, and they sent me that. So I'm watching this movie. I'm like, man, this seems a lot higher quality than the shit
That
I
totally
was
sounds like a
expecting.
second spin mistake, because that would happen all the time if you ordered a film and it had like, multiple
The same
films with
title,
the same
yeah.
name. You would
Yeah.
always get the one you didn't order. I'm like, fuck, seriously?
There's literally a sci-fi channel like killer. I think it's Scorpions actually, called Bug, and I literally got that one, didn't realize it. I'm watching, I'm like, man, this just doesn't seem like sci-fi.
No.
Happy accident, though.
Yeah, really,
it
really.
was. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, Michael Shannon is, I love that dude, man. He's good in everything. He's a great actor.
Michael Shannon, 9 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, so Bug, I'm at the same rating, 6.5 out of 10. It's a decent quality movie. Yeah. So that is going to conclude Bug from 1975.
The Nest.
All right, so moving along into the second film here, we're going to take it to the 80s, specifically 1987, with a film titled The Nest, directed by Terrence H. Winkless. Wow. What did this guy do? Nothing.
Nothing at all.
No, he did some other movies. Probably not horror movies, though.
No, I'm trying to find like
And the
genre-based
commentary he
type
mentioned,
films.
he did some a kung fu movie and stuff. I listened to the commentary today.
You
after
listen
I
to
just
the
had it.
damn.
Did he do
commentary on it?
Bloodfist? No, Bloodfist. He did the first
Yeah, he
Bloodfist
mentioned-
film? Because there's what, like, oh, fuck me, there must be 10 of these now. Bloodfist movies?
This was his first directorial debut feature. He did some shorts before. He said that Julia Corman's wife, got him the job
Yeah.
because
Oh,
his shorts were pretty good.
He directed Not of This Earth in the 95 version?
I guess so.
Wow. So there was a 95 version. Okay. So that was, I guess, the second remake of that film. But yeah, no. So he did the first Bloodfist with Don the Dragon Wilson, which is fucking amazing. I think there's literally like 6 or 7 of those Bloodfist.
Wow,
movies.
he
He's
also
also-
directed
he's also
a
a
bunch
writer
of
on
Power
Howling.
Rangers.
Yeah, he definitely
Also a
did.
writer on The Howling, too.
Oh, okay.
That
Crazy.
makes sense.
Okay.
Get from like Corman, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bloodfist.
yeah.
I wish they would put out a huge box. That's like a fucking Vinegar Syndrome thing, man. The
They'll probably
Bloodfist
just do
box
like
set.
the first one on BSA or something.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So The Nest from 1987, horrifying shocker as a biological experiment goes haywire when meat-eating mutant roaches invade an island community, terrorizing a peaceful New England fishing village and hideously butchering its citizens.
I've
Can I
always
say
loved the
something right off-
poster for the
No.
Nest.
The poster's amazing. That's Corman 101. But the one thing that I find absolutely hilarious about this movie, right?
Right.
Is that it's based on a book?
No, that's funny.
Is it fucking really? Fun fact.
They all were back in the day. But no, Robert Lansing stars in it, right? From stuff like Scalpel. But you know what he starred in from 1980? Island Claws. Tell me Island Claws is not the same exact plot as The Nest.
It is. It's the
same movie.
I just watched
It's Killer Crabs.
I just watched. Well, I watched,
and it has the same actor in it.
Yeah,
it's Killer Crabs, Killer Roaches. Same movie.
Damn, I'm gonna have to watch it. I didn't realize
it's literally the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same movie.
He also was in Empire of the Ants.
Was
Who
he?
Lansing is?
He's in Empire of the Ants. Oh, crazy!
Oh, I love that. I love the actor. He's great in Scalpel. If you've ever seen Scalpel, it's a great movie.
Scalpel's fucking awesome.
He's also in Numa
really
the Killer Whale.
If you go into Scalpel thinking it's a slasher, no. But
no, Scalpel is really Southern Gothic sleaze. It's good. You'd like it as incest, JP.
It does. It does actually.
Fun fact: cockroaches are incestuous.
Ha!
That's funny. Yeah, this movie.
Fun fact: Robert Lansing made love to a cockroach while on the set of The Nest.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So this is one of those weird movies that, like, you basically don't learn what's happening. You don't learn the narrative really until like the last 15 minutes of the movie, 20 minutes of the movie. So we have like something's going wrong, right? There's these cockroaches and they're obviously like meat eaters. Cockroaches. They're taking out fucking animals and people and shit like that. And then
these ones are fucking definitely the most violent of the bunch.
And the way they reveal what's happening is really well cut together because it cuts back between the two people telling the story.
Yeah, I love that.
Actually, this movie actually is really well edited for what it is.
Yeah. And it's got
way better than it should be.
And it's got some pretty decent effects in it too. Like,
yeah, like it's like cheap Screaming Mad George effects, right?
Yeah, it looks good though. It looks good for what it is.
I like them. Yeah.
The one actress in here, what is it? Lisa Langlios? I don't know what the fuck her name is, man. She's like so dry in it though, man. Ugh.
Yeah,
she's the daughter of
the bad woman. Oh
no, not the doctor. She's the daughter of I guess the villain. I guess the guy.
Oh, you're talking about her, the one who has like the big tear scene. She's okay. I mean, the villain's pretty good. I like how she plays it. She plays really cold and
yeah, she's awesome in the film, man. Like she's just like super cold, right? Oh man. Like the experiments on the cat.
That was fucked. And the bug guy's good too. The bug guy's fun. The exterminator.
Yeah, I think that it says that he actually is it Homer?
Improv'd a lot.
Yeah,
he like, improv'd a lot of his shit. Yeah.
Yeah, he like basically improv'd all his lines, which kind of makes sense. But it comes off so natural sometimes when people do shit like that. It's just I don't know. It works for him. That type of kind of offshoot character. But yeah, no. I honestly every time I watch this film, man, I have fun with it. It's pretty. I mean, the storyline, you're right, though. It's Island Claws. It really is. It's the same fucking thing.
They're probably both based off books, too. Probably the same writer.
The Bug, actually, Bug, the last film, I believe, is based on a book also. So they just...
that shit cracks me up when people are like, they got no original ideas anymore. It's like, back in the day, they used to base every goddamn horror movie off a book. And even if they were cheesy, they were just fun, dude. I bet Slugs is a book.
Bro.
They're all books. Death Wish was a book. Everything was a book, guys. Relax.
I think one of my favorite things about this movie is like in the end in the cave and stuff like that. That whole concoction, is this what I'm going to call it, is fucking crazy looking, man. That shit's crazy.
Almost that you think Brian Usna directed it.
Totally. That's the first thing I was thinking because it totally just looks like something Usna would do, man. Just kind of incorporate everything into one and those huge,
Japanese style stuff too.
And the huge scrotums hanging down, like those big nests, like those things are awesome.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, they got a couple real gnarly fucking deaths in this movie.
Yeah,
it's got a good small town feel. The New England shit, man. This one's fun. This is the only one I had seen before, and I'd seen this one a long time ago, and I always liked it.
Mm-hmm. I actually seen all three of these a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah. This one I've seen the least actually, which is funny.
Yeah, the next one I'd never seen before. I thought I had, but no. I started watching. I was like, no, I've never seen this movie for sure. So.
Yeah, fun fact: the cockroaches that were used in this film, for several years, the sets had roach issues after the film was done.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Creepshow. Like, bro, if you use roaches, I would never. If they're like, we're filming in your house, we're going to use some roaches. I'm like, no, you're not.
Because there was no control. There was no controlled set there or nothing, man. They just let these things roam about. And
you can't control them.
I know. That's the thing. Like when you're using real fucking roaches, like, yeah, it must be so frustrating to film.
They should have just
these things are going everywhere. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Because how the fuck could you ever get a cockroach to do exactly what you want to do? But yeah, it'd just be mayhem, man. Total mayhem.
Ugh. And they're gross, man. I don't know. I don't care. They're gross. Roaches are fucking disgusting.
I
Well, they
think
also
again,
carry disease.
Yeah, like rats. The rats and roaches are, but that's funny because it's basically our fault. Like they're in your filth, so our filth is creating the disease.
Fuck you. That's
Bro,
your
you know
fault.
what I'm saying though. In general, it's human beings' filth that they're in. So it's basically putting your own filth back in your fucking face, and you're mad at them for it. They're only there because you're filthy.
Well, shit. Most of the cockroaches here didn't even. They were like they're honestly German cockroaches are the most popular. I think.
Yeah.
Not the American cockroach.
But you know what I'm saying, though. The roaches go where their food is. Kind of like when people are mad at ants, like a big horde of ants eating like ice cream sundae on the ground. It's like, bro, somebody dropped it. They're just cleaning up.
Dude, honestly, ants bother me the least out of like any type of bug.
Ants aren't very gross to me. They're just ants.
No, yeah,
depends.
like
man.
I hate
You get
cockroaches. Bed bugs are literally like the most horrifying thing.
Never seen a bed bug in my life.
You get those
I've
fucking
seen so many of them in the industry that I'm in.
those red fire ants around here and shit, man. Those things bite and they're everywhere, man. I hate those things. Ants are
Those are
annoying
different.
because they're hard to get
Fire
rid of.
ants are different.
Hurt.
Fire ants are different, man. Those are dangerous.
Yeah, but most common ant here is like black wood ants.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, those
I mean,
small little
you get
boys.
those
Yeah, I
little
mean,
fuckers. Oh fuck, they're everywhere, man. Like we have to spray like around our house. Like we live in a green belt, so we have to actually spray every
Yeah, I
couple
have
years.
to
We have to
spray
spray
for
around our
ants.
house too. Like
I have to spray every year for ants.
I know.
then,
I see like maybe one ant in our house a year. Very rarely happens.
Yeah, we don't get any more now.
If we don't spray, we get them every year.
We get that service. We call some dude comes up and sprays everything around our whole house and like in the back fence and shit. And I don't see shit anymore.
It
It's
really
good.
does. That spray really does work.
It does, man. And we used to get like when we first moved in here, I was like, the fuck's with the ants? I mean, where the hell are they even coming from? Then we started spraying and we're like, okay, well, that solved the problem. Really does work. But yeah, so what are your guys' Dave, you'd never seen this before?
No, he has.
Oh, you
Oh,
had
this
seen
is
it.
the only one I had seen.
Oh, the only one you had seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I seen this one back in the day, like on DVD. When the first DVD was released, I saw that's probably like 2000.
Yeah.
The old New Concord DVDs and stuff. Yeah, I was fond of this movie. I remember the end. I remember the crazy special effects. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I mean, it's got, like I said, a good cast of characters, a lot of silly kind of characters. Like the one with the headphones and the lady complaining about the glue out of her. It's got like a nice small town feel. I mean, it's a very
I like
well done movie for what it is.
Yeah.
Like the what is it, New England setting with the
it's
lighthouses
good.
and shit. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, like the last like 10, 15, like when you get the reveal of what's going on and stuff, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then everything in the cave, like the effects, like the sax and like the whole concoction. And I will say, the doctor, what happens to her is pretty crazy.
Oh, it's gnarly.
It's good effect, man. It's gnarly, man. But yeah, there's lots of decent moments in this. But you're right. Again, another real small town feel that is captured really well and stuff. And
I do wish they did go deeper into the mutations. Like you could have had so many cool mutations.
oh
Yeah, because you get the cat cockroach hybrid. But
Yeah,
like,
the person one, like it's like the thing at the end. It's like a blob.
yeah,
it is. It almost feels like the thing is kind of like going from body, but it isn't. It's just creating its own things, and it's really cool. Actually, it's really cool. But I mean, again, it's got the same core narrative as Bug. Really, I mean, you start fucking around with shit, it gets worse.
But it's almost identical to the other movie that we're going to talk about next. Like they're almost the same movie.
yeah.
Like even when I
Yeah, I
started
always
to go,
wondered
talk
if,
about them,
like-
I was like, I couldn't even I was like, which one is the one with the lighthouse and the smoke, the gas coming, or is that you know what I mean?
Yeah, I almost wondered if They Nest was like a loose remake of this, like without the rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's even so similar in title.
Right.
Narrative.
They just added a Y. They just added a Y.
I mean, really, the only difference is that this is on. Oh no, this is on an island too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one's fucking. It's not landscaped either, or landlocked.
Why is there
It's
two
fucking-
remakes of Island Claws?
Yeah, that's funny. That's fucking hilarious, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, this one's got the Jaws thing too. He's like, I want to make the city better, and then by doing that, you just kind of screw everybody over, right?
Yeah.
I will say
And
that the difference in these two, like being so similar, man, is that the ending in this movie is so much. It's so much better, but the ending in They Nest is just batshit funny as hell, man. It's so fucking funny to me, man. I actually laughed out loud watching it. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
You'll have to refresh me on the exact.
I'd
ending
never
of They
seen it before, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding
It's
me.
actually funny, and
Because it's like unintentional, and it's like, oh my god, it's so dumb, but it just works from.
it just works. Like there's like you expect like, oh, how's this hero gonna figure out how to save the day in this one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's just like,
Fuck.
oh, maybe I'll shoot this flare off.
It's just set up so perfectly though, man, because
Well,
by
I
the
mean,
time
the
they get in
ending
the
of
water,
They Nest is just the ending of Birds 2, by the way.
I can't remember Birds too.
They end up in a boat underneath the boat.
right, it totally is the same thing. I was trying to think
Same
of
ending.
because I watched it for 91
Well,
or
where
whatever.
else are you gonna go?
Which is
I
not
don't know.
even a horrible movie. It's not a horrible
I told you,
movie.
I'd said
I
that
like the
Birds 2
Birds
isn't
too.
bad at all. Like, I'm sorry, it's not Birds. It's all right. It's a decent movie. I would watch again.
Yeah, but even Hitchcock's Birds, I think it's like nowhere near his strongest film.
No.
But I remember going in. I'd never seen The Birds 2 before I watched it for the prep for 91, and I think it's
Me either.
specifically.
Well, actually, I
because-
saw it as a kid. I just didn't remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of avoided it at all costs. I'm just like, man, they made a sequel, like a sequel to Hitchcock's Birds. Like what? I guess it would have been 70, like 30 years later. And I'm like, okay, like this has got to be horrible. So I never watched it. And I'm watching this thing going, it's pretty standard, but it's not bad. Right? It's just like one of those
it's a
shocking
standard
moments.
TV movie.
Oh, and
That's
then,
honestly a contender for our Birds show.
and then the fucking funny thing is, remember right after we watched and prepped for that shit, Vinegar Syndrome's like, yeah, we're just going to drop The Birds 2 on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
What
I was
the
like, what the
fuck?
hell?
So
I know. I'd
random.
rather watch that one. I mean, on Blu-ray, but I had to watch it on fucking DVD or some shit.
I watched it on Tubi.
I think I watched it on TV also, if it's on there, whatever it was, but it was like full screen. I'm sure the trans was so much better on Vinegar Syndrome.
Oh, I guarantee. The thing about They Nest is like the Nest. Sorry, like they have the scene where like she has the whole like subplot with her fucking like mom dying and stuff, and it's just like I didn't give a shit. I know they're trying to build character, but I don't give a fuck.
I think I think they're just leaning towards the fact that her dad was a piece of shit.
He's
'Cause
iffy, but he redeems himself. He tries at least.
He what?
He tries at least.
Oh, I thought you said he dies at least. I was like, wow.
No, I mean he's the best actor in the movie. Like there's not even a comparison.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to be rude, but he's just leagues better. He's like a working actor. He's in so much good stuff. I mean,
Right.
so it's not even fair.
Right.
Not even comparable.
Yeah, I did like the chick that Terry Trazer. She plays the doctor, the
she was
evil kind of
good.
doctor. Her character
The
was
lead guy's
interesting.
okay. He's not
Yeah.
great. Could take him or leave him.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Fucking
Forgettable Joe. I mean, he's not horrible though. It's not like he ruined the movie. No one ruins the movie.
No, I mean the acting. It is what it is, man. It's I would say it's above average, anyways. There's some good character actors in here and stuff. And the thing is, though, it's shot well. It sounds well. Like it feels like a bigger budget movie for something that really isn't a
And
bigger
a first
budget
time
movie.
director is pretty impressive. And the score. I love the score, the synth stuff, the little cues, the synth cues and stuff are really well done.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. And shockingly, sometimes these movies can have like you see
Well,
this
they use
actually,
the same score over and over again in like a Corman or an Empire Pictures movie. It's like, my brother wrote a score 10 years ago and we're not getting rid of it until it's not any good anymore.
right. Or else you hear like the fucking the built-in synth sounds from a Casio keyboard from like 1987 and shit. Like
That's all the
like,
SOV movies. Like,
well, because nobody can afford to use copyrighted music, so they just put those sounds in there, and it's like all the same shit. It's fucking hilarious. I just watched a movie just recently with exactly a Casio keyboard fucking soundtrack, and it was making me laugh. I was like, this is so funny.
it's probably one of the SRS throwback movies or something.
It wasn't actually. It was not even. It wasn't even a shot on video film, and that's what was making me laugh. It's pretty funny. But good stuff. Good stuff. This one, there's not really a whole lot to say, but I mean, really, the best shit that happens in this movie is, I guess, some of the animal kills. No, literally animal kills. It's not an Italian film, but
Yeah, I know.
but the best stuff really happens like the last 15-20 minutes, like when they get into the cave and stuff. And again,
cave stuff's
shockingly, the effects are good, man. And one thing about this film though, I do like it's the pacing's really decent in it. It never feels like it's dragging at all. It always feels like it's it's going somewhere. Except for, and I do agree with, the building character, but I think that was more or less, it's just show that dad's, kind of a piece of shit, and the corruption of, power in these small island cities and in small towns and stuff like that. Right. you know.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty standard. I mean, but you can't you want to give your actors something. Like all of them have their monologues. Like Robert Lansing has it, the Bug Guy has it, she has it. They all got their moments to shine, and they hold their own just fine. I mean, like the bad guy's good, the mayor's good. Everybody's pretty solid, and I mean, there's not that much to say. Like you said, like it's a fun movie. It's my favorite of the three. It's just easy.
There's fun parts. Like I like the scene where Homer and the cop they're ripping around in the car and stuff, and the cockroaches are coming in and shit like that. And you know they're trying to battle these things as they're driving and shit. It's kind of cool. It's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. The one guy reminds me of like the Exterminator. He's like a Randy Quaid type, or he's like Jim Varney, or the guy from Critters. You know that like dullard guy from Critters that's hanging out with the kids. It's kind of his style, right?
Right. Yeah, it's exactly what he.
Isn't he wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we just throw a guy in a Hawaiian shirt in like the late 80s and early 90s, and all of a sudden he's just like weird and zany? You're like, that's him. That's the character. He's gonna wear a Hawaiian shirt. You know what you're getting.
I think it's a trope in horror films and genre films that like if you have an exterminator or a bug dude or whatever, they've got to be eccentric and odd and dress funny and say weird shit. And it's just like it's almost like a stereotype when it comes to. But why is it that the exterminator is like the crazy fucking weird dude that like he's kind of like almost like the comic relief and everything? I mean, you look at Arachnophobia, right? With fucking
John Goodman.
With John Goodman's character, he's clearly a weirdo, but like it's
he's
just
the best part.
But yeah, he's like the fucking best, and I love John Goodman so much. He's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
But it's funny how like every exterminator and everything is just like, what the fuck? They're all the same like kind of head cases and weirdos and shit. It's strange. It's like, you know, if you are an eccentric weirdo, the only job you can get is killing bugs
or a gravedigger. You gotta dig grave. Or no, wait, a mortician.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys are always the fuck. What's the guy who always checks the bodies? The coroner. The coroner's the king of Hawaiian shirts.
But I think that like if you work with the dead like that, a coroner, or you work as a mortician and stuff, like you kind of have to be a different personality because you're just
you kind of want to wear a Hawaiian shirt to brighten the mood.
Right, that's the only way to put a smile on your face.
He's like drinking a pina colada. It's like, are you supposed to be doing your job? I'm trying to live over here. I'm surrounded by dead guys. I'm trying to have a good time.
Right. Yeah, you got to be a little offbeat, man, I think. So, good stuff. Good stuff. All right.
JP, do you have anything else to say?
No, I think I'm good. It's a fun movie. Good effects. Yeah, ready to rate if you guys are.
The fucking artwork. So I would love to have this poster.
Oh, the artwork's the best.
I was thinking about that too, about getting like a little 11x17 poster of that art.
It's fucking sweet, man. It really is good. Nice.
It's a good one.
Okay, well, let's get in ratings, Dave.
I'm like at right in between a 7 and a 7.5, but I don't really feel like this is 7.5 caliber, even though I kind of fuck it. Let's just do 7.5. It's pretty good for what it is. I don't know if it's one of the better ones for what it is, and when you're talking killer bugs, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with mine. I have it at a 7 out of 10, so you know it's solid. It's a fun watch.
I'm at a 7.25, but we don't do that rating, so
no.
No, we're not fucking Jason Lloyd.
Me, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 as well. So
damn, lowest high. Yeah, this one, yeah, it's fun. So that's The Nest from 1987.
The Nest.
What about you? You haven't been married?
All right, so getting into the third and final film here on episode 236, we're going to take it to the year 2000 with a TV film called They Nest. Very close in title to the last one.
Not as close in quality.
So this one is directed by Elroy. I can't pronounce his name. Elkayem. I don't know how the fuck to say his name. But we have covered a couple of his films in the past. I think we had some disagreements on a couple of these too. I'm pretty sure
you guys argued for fucking 45 minutes on Return of the Living Dead. Well, it's
because I only got to say 4 things during Return of the Living Dead because Dave was like screaming and yelling how much he loved it, and I'm pretty sure
he was definitely blowing it.
Yeah.
So was JP.
Why are you blaming me?
I should have went first in that because it was like, holy shit. I don't think I'd ever been that long on the show without saying anything before. It's crazy. But yeah, so this director is, he directed this movie in 2000, and then in 2002, he directed 8-Leg Freaks, and then, of course, in 05, he did the TV movies, Return of the Living Dead Necropolis, and Return of the Living Dead Rave to the Grave, which we covered, of course, in the Return of the Living Dead franchise show.
And honestly, I gotta say, I actually love 8-Legged Freaks. I don't know if you guys have seen
8-Legged Freaks is fun. It's fun.
I'm going to say this right now. I honestly don't think that it's this director's fault why those Return of the Living Dead movies ended up so bad. I think whoever fucking wrote... I honestly don't know what happened, because the writer didn't say that wasn't his script either. And like the director obviously did some decent work before. I don't know. I think there's some producer that has brain damage that took those movies and just said, can I make these as bad as possible?
He probably gave him like 6 days to shoot or something. You know, it's something like that.
It's probably the fact that they were made for TV and they're just like, whatever, man.
Yeah, but so was this.
I know, but
no, this movie is way better than it should be. It's like a sci-fi original, and this is like one of the last like things before like Sharknado bullshit, where you can tell they tried. They're like, we got some character actors, we got a decent script, we're gonna try our best, even if it is we know crap. It's gonna be good crap, and that's what They Nest is.
I've always liked this movie.
Yeah, so this was a first time watch for myself, and I was surprised to see that Thomas Calabro was in the film. Of course, he was from Melrose Place. I know you guys would never know that, but I love Melrose Place in the 90s. He played Dr. Michael Mancini on there. Ironically enough, he plays a doctor in this one. We've got the legendary Dean Stockwell, who plays the sheriff in the film. We've got John Savage in a small role.
Everybody's favorite actor, John Savage, from Mood's favorite movie, Door into Silence by Lucio Fulci.
Yeah, I like John Savage is awesome.
He's really good in this, actually. He's the best part.
Yeah, and then
who's he playing this?
He plays the brother, one of the brothers.
Yeah. He's good, man. He's fucking he's just kind of unhinged, man. And then we got Kirsten Dalton in the film. She's just beautiful. She's just awesome looking in the film. Among people, who else is in the film? There's other people in this too.
They all look familiar. They all look like kind of recognizable character actors.
Yeah, I was really shocked to see Dean Stockwell in this film. When I opened up the cast, I was like, "Oh shit, Dean Stockwell."
He's good in it too. He's fine.
Yeah, man. He doesn't have a nice death, but you know, it is what it is.
This is the same plot of the Nest, by the way, except that we don't know where the experiments come from. They just fall off and end up on the island.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the difference between this movie and The Nest for sure.
And they're poisonous. They're poisonous roaches. They're not flesh eating, but they will.
Or fire producing.
Yeah, not fire, not flesh eating, not mutations. They're just poisonous.
They're assholes.
So essentially, yeah, you're right. Essentially, we have no origin story for the cockroaches. We just know that these things are poisonous, and when they bite you, they kind of like their bite or their claws or whatever comes off. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, they're like highly poisonous. And also what they'll do is they'll actually go into your body and lay eggs inside of you. So they kind of eat from the inside out also. Yeah. So that's kind of a gross aspect to the film, which is they show a little bit of that and stuff. So yeah, so we got fire, cockroaches. We've got ones that are doing what they're doing and they nest. And these ones are very highly poisonous, which is just unusual. So very similar in plots, all different types of cockroaches. Yeah, you're right. This movie right here is so much better than I was anticipating it to be. Sometimes I don't really know what to expect from TV films, sci-fi films around this time because they are hit and miss, but
it's rough.
The quality is actually pretty good. And I will say the first thing I noticed 5 minutes into the movie, because there's a scene where they're taking a ferry over to the island, and I'm like, I know where that is. That's Vancouver Island.
Yep, it is Vancouver.
I know the channel and even the end of the movie, they actually pan out and they show the whole shoreline of Vancouver City. But the scenes that they shot, that was definitely on Vancouver Island and stuff where they actually have the ferries across from Vancouver to Victoria and stuff like that. So I knew that right away. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, I'm sure Dave's gonna hate this movie.
The thing I noticed right away too is like the characters in the town feels extremely lived in. Like these feel like real, like working class people.
Well, they talk about how long some of these characters have been there for. Like the one, they're like, "Oh, you haven't fished in 15 years." So like these guys are just bumming around on the island, and everybody knows everything about everybody because
they're just like hanging out in the damn bar, and they have tabs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, how the fuck do these people even make a living? Because like it seems like no one's really fishing or making ends meet at all. But like this is a small little island.
Power guy.
Yeah, and which he sucks at his job apparently.
It's very bad.
It's like fucking horrible. But yeah, like the core, like if you guys give a shit about the here, I'll break it down. A Maine island, so it's set in Maine, which they do this actually quite a bit. There's a lot of movies that are set in Maine or in Oregon that are shot in Vancouver. It's just, I guess, this way it looks because it's dark, dingy, it's very rainy and stuff like that. So a Maine island becomes infested with lethal insects that root inside their victims while a local doctor battles the bugs and incorrigible locals that don't believe them. Which is the brothers. So basically, Michael, the doctor, Michael, Jesus Christ, I'm going back to Melrose Place already. So Dr. Ben, played by Thomas Calabro, he's been recently divorced from his wife, and they had bought basically a house on this island, and he's went there because he needs a break from being a doctor and stuff like that. So he's out there taking a little time off and shit like that. We learned very quickly that the house that he had bought actually was supposed to be passed down to these two brothers after their father had passed away. And I guess what had happened was the father hadn't paid the taxes and stuff like that. So the bank said, fuck you, we're going to put the house up for sale. And Thomas buys it. And that's what starts this beef between him and the brothers.
It's really funny because at first they're like getting along. And then he starts talking shit on he's like telling him he bought this house and the people that lived there must have been pigs because it's like a fucking mess. And then it's so awkward because it's like, that him and his brother lived in that house is his family.
It sets it up pretty funny because it turns out this one brother actually is the fucking, he's the guy that runs the power.
Yeah, that's John Savage too. So the one thing, Jeremy walked in here, he watched like 10 minutes and he's like, so this is just Straw Dogs meets Jaws, right? And I was like, kinda.
right. Yeah, and that's one thing about this movie that's really cool. Again, going back to the small town feel, it's again set on an island like The Nest, and it really does capture that small town. Like the characters feel like they're like, I don't want to say inbred in there, but they've been the generations deep there and stuff. Like everyone has their history and their roots are rooted there. And, just everybody knows everything.
You can tell
about
like
everybody.
the sheriff has been dealing with Jack and Eamon since they were kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being little hellraisers around the town.
Yeah. So everything's expected, when it comes to like not paying tabs and shit like that. It's, that whole small town feel and shit. One of my favorite characters in the film actually is the fucking old dude working in the convenience store. And his doctor comes in
he's
and
like, today is Monday. And he's like, right, Monday.
He's like, yeah, the day after Sunday. You gonna ring me through? And he's like, he looks at me and he goes, nah, I don't know how to work this thing.
Right.
He's fucking just reading the paper.
That's good shit. That's good shit, man.
Yeah. So some of the dialogue in the movie is actually pretty good. And I was surprised, like Thomas Calabro, he's good in the film. Like everyone's actually pretty decent in their roles. Like
everybody seems to be trying. And I appreciate that because most modern like sci-fi, creature movies, shark movies, everybody is literally like doing it with a tongue in cheek. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's so annoying. They just celebrate badness. Like this movie's trying its best, and if it ends up bad, they're like, sorry, but we're trying. And it goes a long way, man. Like movies should never purposely try to be bad. If they end up bad and they're trying, it's still charming. Like this is a real movie. With real people trying, and it shows, and it's perfectly solid. Like this is the kind of the end of the heyday when you'd be like home from school and turn on the Sci-Fi Channel and catch something decent. Like, hey man, Demonic Toys is on. This is pretty cool. Hey man, fucking They Nest is one of the last ones, and then fucking garbage came out. Literally.
That's how I've seen this before.
And I was surprised by the effects in this because they did use some practical. Of course, there's a lot of practical. Actually,
the practical's good. The CGI's not great, but the movie's serious enough that it's okay.
But it's actually when they start using the CG because it's like when there's a ton of fucking bugs.
Well, that's when they had the scene where he has to rescue the little boy from the barn and stuff like that. Like. They just, CG the shit out of that. But, for 2000 CG, it wasn't the worst I've ever seen.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've seen worse years later. Bro? Yeah, I've seen worse years later.
2000 is hella early in CG.
It really is. It actually really is.
It's only been used in a lot of films for like 4 years.
Yeah. And the movie's on location. Like, bro, they're really out there, it feels like. I don't think a lot of this is on sets. Like, you see, like, the locations on the boat and shit. Like, even, and it's on film. I believe this looks like it's shot on film, if I'm not mistaken.
It probably is. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, man, it just feels so much more like a real movie than a lot of the movies nowadays. Like, even, like, because everything would be on a green screen. We're not going to location. It's just, like, minimal effort or minimal fucking risk. And I understand why. Because you want a good turnaround, but it also just like kind of sucks the life out of everything.
Yeah, it's totally 100% shot on 35 millimeter.
Yeah, man.
So a sci-fi film with semi-decent CG from 2000 shot on 35 millimeters. So right there, you already know what it's going to look like. And it's so much better than I was anticipating it to be. I was really impressed with this, but I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this is literally, I just watched this movie practically a couple times, but at the same time, it didn't matter. I was having fun with it. I like the characters. And that's actually the big strong point for me in this one, that, the thing I liked about it was, when they're blaming, Dr. Ben for, the death of the brother and stuff, and Dean Stockwell, who plays the sheriff, has to arrest him and stuff. But it's not like that stupid cop shit where he's like, the fucking hillbilly said this, and, and doing stupid cop shit, where you just roll your eyes at and stuff. The characters are written a little bit more properly, and they're written outside the box of the norm of like a small town setting where everyone's just kind of fucking stupid. I think that's a lot of writers who've never been to a small, all the characters aren't dumb as shit. There is smart people and they make smart decisions, right? And I felt like that with all these characters. It's like, Doctor, he was good. Of course, he is supposed to be a smart character, but the sheriff was the most surprising thing to me because, he really did have a grip on the small island because of how he is, and I'm like, believable. It's totally believable.
And for me, like movies where they are like, we're going to do everything we can logistically practical, and then the stuff we can't do, we'll do CGI. I appreciate that because it's like they're like what they can do practical, they do. Like when he's cutting open dude's chest and there's all that gross bugs in his chest and shit, like that's all practical. You know what I mean? But then when there's 100,000 fucking roaches on the ceiling and shit, it's CG, and it's like
or flying at the ends, which brings me to the end of the movie. Like the way it goes down is just so utterly ridiculous.
I know. I was like, wait, that's it? I forgot how it ended. I haven't watched this movie in like 8.
Well, I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, really? That killed all of them? Like really, all of them?
Well, there was like, because there's a couple.
No, there was still one. There's one. You knew it was going to end like that. You knew there was going to be a little roach like.
The same thing happens at the end of the nest with it's like there's just one hanging out on dude's shoe.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to leave it like that, right? You got the possibility of
every creature feature, a giant bug or bug movie is always like you gotta let it go. Like kill crocodile, like there's another egg
in under the porch, and there's like a couple eggs under there.
What ends like Critters? That's how Critters fucking ends. Critters 1 or 2. And other like you're like, what the fuck is this?
I think the funniest thing about this movie, like, and again, another common theme between these three movies is that, they're killer cockroach movies, but they're all played dead serious, straightforward, dead. There's like no comedy in these movies, barely at all. Maybe unintentional comedy, which leads me to the end of this movie. Like, this wasn't intended to be funny. It comes off as being funny because the end result of how the resolution to this is actually kind of by accident. So that's what made me laugh. And it's how it goes down, because when they get to the water, where the docks are and stuff, like something has happened and there's a dude, and he's laying there and there's like fuel flying everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck?
And he literally doesn't know that. It's not like he's the hero and he's like, oh, look, we'll shoot the gas pumps and then boom, he literally just fires a flare and it happens to land on a fucking gas pump.
So at this point, there's like flying cockroaches and they're like, okay, so, and it is a smart idea, right? Because if you want to protect yourself from flying shit that's coming at you, tilt the fucking boat over, get in the water, right? Yeah. Right. You got to do that shit. And then they're like, well, we need help now. We need to notify somebody. So they've got this flare gun, and then 1 + 1 = 2.
So isn't there like,
what part I've died at, bro?
It's so fucking funny, dude. I literally laughed out loud. I was like, you've got to be. And I was like,
no, that part is funny. But the funniest part in the movie to me is when he goes to that fucking like classroom and he starts reading that book and he sees a giant fucking tarantula on the ground and he just throws the book at it.
The lead guy is a moron. The lead guy is a fucking bumbling idiot.
He's like, did you see that thing?
Dude, you would know damn well it was a fucking pet.
That's the class.
Well, I mean, he was a little bit shook from
you see the size of that thing?
Yeah.
But he's also he's a city person too, right? So he's probably not used to seeing anything like that. So I mean, his reaction isn't completely,
Bro, you're in a kindergarten. People used to bring tarantulas in all the time for show and tell.
Yeah,
I never fucking had that happen.
And, oh man, that scene where they've got the little guinea pig. You can like see the terror in that thing's face. I don't know how they managed to capture that
in the maze.
Oh yeah. Oh, I said that was the best acting hamster I've ever seen. That hamster fucking should have got an Academy Award. He was like,
I don't know what they did, but you could see the fucking terror in that thing's face, man. It was crazy, man. We don't get to see the end result, but I do think it's funny when the kid goes back in class like way after and he's like, I need to grab the hamster or whatever, and he's like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Dude, this movie is like way better than it should be.
Yeah, it's
you would look at the title and you're like, that's a 3.5 out of 10 tops.
Yeah, especially the alternate title, Creepy Crawlers,
which I did not know was even the same movie.
Isn't it Creepy Crawlies? Creepy Crawlies.
I have it on DVD as that. Creepy Crawlers.
Is it Crawlers? Oh shit.
Yeah, Creepy Crawlers.
Yeah.
Well, there's an HD print of this floating around.
Yeah, actually the Tubi print was like $7.20 for sure.
It looked really good. I was surprised by it.
Vinegar Syndrome. I'm just kidding. No, don't worry about it.
Dude, I'll take it.
This is more like a Ronin Flicks release.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I'll still take anything. I like this movie. I always have. Ever since I was in the year 2000 when I was like 10.
Yeah, man, I was just like pleasantly surprised, watching all three of these movies in a row. I was like, okay,
Yeah, you expect one to be really bad.
Right.
And with Killer Insect movie, especially this time, you're like, I'm telling you, I was like, this is going to be shit. And I started watching it, and I was like, it's got John Savage and Dean Stockwell. And I was like, oh, I remember seeing this cover before. And then right with the boat interaction, I was like, oh, that was pretty good. And I was invested pretty quick.
And then you're like, damn, this is like
it's a real
better
movie.
than it should be.
It's a real film.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
And then I got mad at Sharknado.
Yeah, right. You start thinking about all like how things have went since this time period.
People just out there making bad things on purpose. Like
do.
Amityville grease paint monkey. Now. It's like, what is this? Like Amityville spray can. Amityville dresser that ate my mom. Like Amityville fucking shark monster.
It's so true though, man. Like
Amityville Ouija board.
Dude, you're like you're like fucking with the space-time continuum or something right now by creating, because like all these are you just are making these exist.
Half of them are priority movies. It's like
half of them are probably in post-production, bro.
No shit. Amityville clown.
That's definitely a real one, right?
I guess
that's got to be a real one.
Amityville werewolf clown. It's fucking fuck you all.
You ever see that episode of South Park where they make fun of Family Guy with the manatees and the giant tank?
Yeah.
That's how Amityville movies are made.
And he's like, remember that time I went to Tijuana with Gary Colvin?
Right. That's like what it is. It's just random things mushed together.
It's just the shit you used to say at the 7th grade lunch table, and they made a fucking show about it.
Right.
What if I jerked off with Cheese Whiz? And then Peter's like, no. They're like, sometimes it's funny, though. I'm not going to lie. Family Guy's either really funny or really annoying. You never know what you're getting.
It's both.
It's both. It's 7th grade all over again.
It totally
really
is.
Funny or really annoying.
Yep.
Amityville Cockroaches.
Ooh, that might be good. The cockroaches are all haunted.
Yeah.
No pesticide works on these damn ghost roaches.
They're all haunted cockroaches. That's good shit.
But yeah, I'm pretty much good on this one.
I don't really have a whole lot.
I mean, there's not much to say about these. That's why they're fun, easy episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they did throw a couple like kind of. I mean, I guess it's meant to be kind of funny and stuff. Like, the scene where
him smashing a spider is supposed to be funny.
He's clearly
hilarious.
He clearly has. Well, he had a drinking problem before, and he's
sober now.
That was a good gag. How they did that. For
Yeah, I kind of like
it's like
that
coffee
too.
or something.
I actually felt like his relationship with that chick was like genuine feeling too.
That was actually my 2-word review for this on Letterboxd was cold coffee. And you'd have to watch the movie to fucking to get that. But I just thought that was actually really funny how they did it. I was like, oh shit, that's funny.
The hard thing is like both of this and The Nest bleed together because there's like a lot of diner shit, if I'm not mistaken. Don't like half the main characters work in a fucking diner in both these movies?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so The Nest actually pretty damn decent. Now when I think about it, man, I probably should have had The Nest. Did I say The Nest?
The funny thing about this one as well is technically in the terms of the movie, these are not cockroaches. They are the armadillo bug, which is not real, but
yeah, but it pretty much looks like it looks like a cockroach.
Well, in Bug, they weren't cockroaches until he actually made them fuck other cockroaches to give an offspring of a half roach, half firebug.
You know what else is funny about this?
True.
It's a TV movie that's actually rated PG-13.
Huh.
It's weird.
I don't even look at the ratings anymore when I watch movies.
Well, I just noticed that right now. It says TV movie 2000 PG-13. I'm like, wait a minute. Like,
I didn't even know Black Phone was rated PG-13.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I thought that was R. When I watched it, I was like, this is R. There's no way it's not. And then I watched it and someone was like, it's PG. I was like, really? I probably would have rated that R.
Right. I mean, it's the subject matter, right? It doesn't actually have to be insanely gory or anything, but
yeah, it's pretty disturbing subject matter. Like kids are getting raped and killed. It's really brutal.
Right. Well, ratings. I guess that's me. I'm gonna come in at a 7 on this one. Like I said, I probably should put the Nest at 7.5 because I feel like this one, maybe the other one's like a tad bit better, but I don't know. This one is really entertaining to me and so much better than I thought it was going to be. I was really kind of taken back by this. So, but good stuff. Good location. Really good location.
All right. Back to me. What'd you rate it?
7.
Oh, wow.
I really liked it. It's fun.
Last fun fact here. The giant burrowing cockroach, often referred to as the rhinoceros cockroach, is known as the heaviest cockroach species.
Now, this is going to be an ongoing thing, I think. Fun facts for all these insect zoology film. Yeah, it's going to be
not just insect.
And then we get
zoology in general. That was actually my plan. I printed these out.
Did you really? Sasquatch is not real.
Actually, no. These were all off the top of my head. I just knew a lot about cockroaches.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, except for the incest thing. I made that up. But it could be true.
I mean, it probably is. I don't think they care. I don't think they check.
Yeah.
Hey, you get a DNA test on you, bro? I don't want to make sure we're not related.
Dude, I can't believe you guys have never seen Joe's fucking apartment. That is mind-blowing to me.
I saw part of it, man. It's the talking roaches. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's a
no, I've never seen that. Never seen it.
It's like ridiculous, but it's like funny.
Well, you blew your load, and you should have picked Joe's apartment for your third.
It's not a horror movie, even though they did show it on Monster Vision. That's
I seriously can't believe I like this as much as I did. This is just crazy to me, man. Crazy. Because a lot of these movies, man, like I'm not just saying just sci-fi, just the time period.
No, yeah,
they're just so lackluster to me, man. And they usually look like shit, but it's crazy. You think this would be so much more low budget, like just TV movie 2000, but it's literally shot on 35 millimeters, so it had some. So.
Yeah. So They Nest, I've always really liked it. I think I actually reviewed this on my YouTube channel like way back in the day. But I remember seeing it in like literally on the Sci-Fi Channel growing up, and I can never remember the name of it because it was called They Nest, but everywhere else it's usually creepy crawlers. So it took me forever to figure out what it was. And I know Matt Cantor likes this movie as well, but I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Dave.
We should probably get Matt Cantor on one of the zoology shows. To be honest.
Dude,
that's
yeah.
I don't even know. I didn't think of that.
Disrespectful that we didn't even. Well, this was very short. We literally came up.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that until you just said that. But you keep referencing him like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, because
why is he on this show?
I watch all of his updates, and they're like 95% like fucking monster and creature features, and it's all like
and animal shit, right?
Well, we have literally like 1 million volumes of these plans, so we'll definitely get.
Yeah, so whatever he wants, I guess. So we'll do. I'm going to do 6.5 on this one too. Yeah, you're thinking like, I'm like, yeah, it's technically not as well done as Bug, and it doesn't have as many interesting concepts, but I think it's an easier watch than Bug.
It is. It's funner than Bug for sure.
Well, Bug is actually pretty exhausting, to be honest.
I like Bug a lot, but this one's funner.
Maybe if it was like 20 minutes shorter. Maybe cut down some of it, But come on.
I don't need so much Bradford Dillman fucking looking like he hasn't showered in 6 days. I need like 10 minutes of that.
I know. I could smell that fucker through my TV, man.
Smells like beer farts.
Right. Gross.
Potato chips and beer farts.
Yummy. Fucking rights.
Fun fact: the episode is over.
It is. And also, we already talked about that, I guess. Yeah. So next week we are, again, as a friendly reminder, because some people don't listen to the intros and some people, well, I would say most people don't listen to the end of the shows. Although it is pretty funny. A lot of people have been checking out the end of the shows, I swear, just to hear the fart sounds that I'm using. It's fucking hilarious, man. Some of the comments are so funny. Do you ever hear them? Do you guys ever go there and just check out?
I try to avoid fart sounds, but
no, I listen to the very end of every show.
Did you catch the sample that I used right at the end after that long, like 2-minute fart sequence? Did you remember what I used?
I remember the last one being really incredibly long. What was it?
And then right at the end of it, I sampled fucking Citizen Kane's when he's like, after he just shit himself for like 2 minutes. It's really fucking gross, but it's really
like he
funny.
died, he shit himself to death.
Yeah, he ended up with a rosebud. Oh, gross.
Oh, you're a fucking stop.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, dude, that's so. I was actually pissing myself when I was doing that. It's pretty funny, but it's kind of gross.
Show's over. That was too much.
Yeah, that was too fucking much, man. Too much. All right. Yeah, so Salem's Lot 1 and 2 next week, and so we'll be doing that. Looking forward to hearing you're on the show next week, right? You said, Dave?
Yeah, I definitely want to make it. Even if I don't make it, I'm watching the movies. If something emergency happens, I'm still going to watch the movies because I want to see them.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. Cool.
Alrighty. Well, I guess that's everything, man. We're out of here, man. That's going to conclude episode 236. Cockroaches.
Zoology. We'll see you guys next time.
Zoology Volume 1. I don't know how JP is going to name this, but
it's going to be called Zoology Volume 1 Cockroaches.
A cockroach.
Sweet.
Cockroach. Oh, dude, is it fucking Scarface when he does the you cockroach?
That's actually the sample I'm going to use, man. I'm actually going to take the sample from Necro. He actually did a song called Cockroaches. I can't use I wish I could use the beat because I'll totally get flagged on that. But he actually sampled it in a really cool way. So I'll use that sample. I'll just cut it up or whatever. I'm sure I can find some trailers for this too. Maybe cut some shit out. But
cool.
Yeah, because everything's in English. But yeah, I'll use that. Make sure to put Al Pacino's face on the cover.
or hey, remember when I know he turns into a beetle, but Beetlejuice, doesn't he he looks more like a roach when he turns into
he's definitely a cockroach when
he turns into a cockroach. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey, over here.
Yeah, it's totally a cockroach.
I fucking love Beetlejuice the way
dude, it is literally one of the best. It's such that movie never gets old, man. Like
I love that movie.
The aesthetic of that movie
over here.
The aesthetic of that movie is so fucking cool. Like
I like when he's lifted up her skirt with the stick.
He's like, hey, what? When he gets caught, he's like, what?
That whole scene is amazing. So good.
This is the best, dude.
If we count that as a horror movie, that's the best movie of 1988.
Dude, I would definitely add it to the list.
It definitely has horror elements to it. Come on, man. He's like dead, and there's lots of crazy shit in there.
I mean, 88's such a good year, though. I don't want to start throwing
it's got the big sandworms in it. It's kind of like pre-Tremors a little bit.
But Dune was pre-Tremors too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the cartoon, man. I have the box. I watch
the cartoon's great.
So do I.
Yeah, it's
too.
awesome,
I actually just bought it a couple back in October.
We could do a Tim Burton show. We could do Beetlejuice, Sleepy Hollow, and Mars Attacks, or it's got to have another one. No, those are probably the three most horror, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I guess so. Right?
I'd be an easy show. I like all those. I've never seen Sleepy Hollow the whole way through, but the other two
I've actually never seen it either.
Man, I haven't watched Mars Attacks for fucking ever, dude.
Oh, it's so funny.
I watched it during the 1990s.
Man, I need to upgrade. I think I have a fucking DVD snapper case.
I don't know if I have a Blu-ray of Mars Attacks. I might have to upgrade that too.
Is it even on
case?
Fucking Ray?
I'm sure it is.
It's. I think the Blu-ray, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can look it up, but I think it's out of print, man. I think it came out years ago and it's out of print.
Like, in my head, I feel like that movie's probably better than I remember.
Man, some of the
it's way better, dude.
I remember
Jack
having
Nicholson's great in it.
It has like 1 million cameos, right? Isn't even Michael J. Fox in that shit? Like
Michael J. Fox and Martin Short are both in it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Michael J. Fox in it? Yeah, he's in it.
That's a big time cast, man. Jack
Pierce
Nicholson,
Brosnan, Danny DeVito, Jim Brown, Jack Nicholson, fucking Wayne
Jim
Newton.
Brown's in it? Man, I haven't seen it.
Jim Brown's one of the main characters.
Oh, I can't even remember it, man.
Pam Grier's in it. Is Pam Grier in it?
Man, then Fred Williamson's got to be in it too. Then you got the whole black exploitation. You got
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown's in it, yeah. Pam Grier's in it too.
Natalie Portman. Pam Grier is in it.
Jack Black's in
fucking
it.
Black.
Jack Black's in it.
Yeah. I honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it.
Okay, well, we'll throw. I mean, we got lots of shows planned here,
We
but
throw a Tim Burton show in there too. Fuck it.
Yeah, we can throw the Tim Burton shit in there. So why not? I like Tim Burton. I haven't seen a Tim Burton movie forever though.
I haven't seen any of his newer ones. I just watched all the old ones 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. Yeah. Well, I mean, usually I usually watch Beetlejuice a couple times during October, but I didn't even do it this year.
I think I got the 4K.
Yeah, I got to take Carly to see that at the theater at the drive-in for her first time.
I guarantee Beetlejuice makes the Hall of Fame.
Dude, Beetlejuice is fucking awesome. Man.
It's one of my top favorite 100 movies ever. Probably.
I actually can't see it being any less than 30.
I agree. There's no doubt. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
like I've seen it 100 times.
It's honestly kind of fucking genius. Like that, it wasn't based on something else already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not very often I would predict.
Thing.
Yeah, dude.
Like the whole concept of it is actually fucking.
Everybody in the movie's so fucking funny too.
There's so many great character actors.
Catherine O'Hara.
Oh, everyone's
so
good.
I like how all the football players keep calling the caseworker coach.
I don't think we may survive that crash, coach. I love that. I don't think we survived that crash, coach.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very often I would predict that someone's gonna rate something 10 out of 10, but dude, I'm pretty convinced on that one, man.
One of the best lines in the movie. If I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I'm good. You guys?
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here. 236 is a wrap. Check you guys next week for Salem's Lot 1 and 2, Stephen King Volume 1. We out. Gia.
You.
You got to wash your ass.